Welcome to the VAFA William Buck SEN Match of the Day.
He has a bounce, he crosses 50, he pins the ears back, and he drills the goal! You can tweet that and hashtag it bloody good.
It goes high up and under the full foot.
Makes a name for himself with these long bombs from outside the arc. It's a long bomb from outside the arc! Parkville, where wintertime has truly set in over the last week or so to create the season for footy. Two teams coming off losses today on the SEN app and on VAFA.com.au. Two teams coming off respective slow second halves. The visiting Old Xaverians went with the undefeated Tunners early in the piece last week, ultimately falling away. The Uni Blues will be smarting after leading most of the way home against Old Haileybury. The Bloods coming over the top late in time on. It's the University Blues and it's the Old Xaverians in the VAFA William Buck SEN Match of the Day, live every Saturday afternoon on VAFA.com.au and the SEN app. My name is Paddy Grindlay. It's my great pleasure to now welcome in Matthew Donald to Saturday Afternoon Footy. Hello, Matty. Good to see you.
Hello, Paddy. Hello, everyone. Great to be a part of the commentary team once again, and looking forward to working with you as always. And I've got to be honest, this University Oval here, in terms of the competition, this is probably one of my favourite grounds to call at. We've got a great vantage point here from the commentary position. Terrific backdrop. The ground is terrific, and we're in a very intimate position compared to the rest of the crowd. We're surrounded by lots of the faithful today, so looking forward to being able to call the game with them. Should be a beauty.
Right near the merch hut as well, which is great for effects, Mike, and our man Bruce on the buttons. It's also great to see the two-time Premiership coach and three-time Coach of the Year, Hugo Higginbotham, again in the special comments chair. Hello, Hugo.
Hello, Paddy. Great to be here. What a contest we got today. But I've got to say, boys, this is as close as I've ever been to a university. This is foreign land for me.
That's good stuff. I wouldn't have believed that, Hugo. You're a man of eloquence and prose, so that's a surprise.
No, I'm a bit of a trade background, Paddy. Businessman now, but university never appealed to me.
The University of Life, as they say.
Yes.
This is, of course, the Saturday warm-up, all thanks to Mequicare, providing care for more than 16,500 people each week across Greater Melbourne and regional Victoria since 1959. Now, gentlemen, before we look at these two teams, and we're going to hear from Old Xaverians coach Dan Donati and first-year Uni Blues coach Matt Smith in the next 15 minutes or so, let's have a look at the Author Sport Victoria ladder, because, Matthew and Hugo, there's a clear split that's opened up ahead of round 7.
Yes, it certainly has. There's a real logjam down there, but look at the top end, you're looking at Brighton. You know, they are the absolute benchmark at the moment, but target on their back now. So as the season goes on, but interesting result last week. That was over a 10-goal win.
Yes,
against Xavs. But St Kevin's, we saw them last week. They're professional. They will absolutely relish being up there as well. Early wins are so important. Gets the pressure off your back, helps later in the season. You can get player management, things like that. But Haileybury's been a surprise for me as well. Yep. Coming up, and it could be a history-making day, I think, that one, Paddy. I think they've never won at TH King before. I've no doubt I'll be wrong about that, but anyway, someone will pick me up. And then Bernie's as well. So that's where the split starts. And then in the bottom half, it's a tale of missed opportunities from nearly every team. They've, Blues, I mean, we've got 2 wins and some really, really solid quarters, some big performances, but just haven't been able to get it done. So what's happening now? Pressure is building. It's almost one of those season on the line for a few teams today.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the top half and the bottom half separated by 2 wins at the moment, so it really is starting to take shape the best from the rest. And you mentioned Uni Blues, who we're seeing today, 6th to 9th, all level on 8 points, so percentage is separating them. So a real logjam in that bottom half of the table. I saw Old Brighton and Old Xaverians last week, and that was really the 2 pace setters to start the season. We've now got a clear team to beat in 2025. We are only a third of the way through the campaign, but that was an excellent win on the road by the Tunners last week, and they really established themselves as the early Premiership favourites this year.
You mentioned the Old Xaverians, Matt Donald, who just enjoyed in those past few seconds a reserves win over the University Blues, as you mentioned, falling away in this second half against Old Brighton. Let's head downstairs now to our boundary rider for Kosh Living, Raj Johnston. A big hello to you. He's got the coach of the Old Xaverians.
Thanks, guys. I'm with the Old Xavs coach, Dan Donati. Dan, thanks for your time. Talk us through your preparation for this game today.
I'll look after a tough loss last week against a really, really good Old Brighton. We had a good review Tuesday night, really good upbeat training on Thursday night. The boys locked in. It's never easy out here. We know that. We've had a good record for the last couple of years, but we know that if you let them get on top early and they're in the game early, they're hard to get rid of, so hopefully we can start well.
Any changes to your side today?
Yeah, a few changes, a couple of forced ones, a couple of injuries from last week's game, but we get Phipps Parsons back in from Carlton VFL. He's played the last couple of games there, and we get Nick Guiney back from Richmond VFL. He's been with us for most of the year, but we've missed the last couple as well. We've got a debutant today in Hamish McIsaac. He'll play across half-back. I think he's wearing number 8 today, actually, but he's a beauty. He's been around the club a long, long time. Cousin of Charlie McIsaac too.
We're here in round 7 now. Be curious to know, how do you think your side's fitness and conditioning is holding up as we progress through the season?
Oh, look, we've had really, really good back halves, second halves of every game, probably except for last week. They had a great pre-season, so we were super fit. Look, we've had a couple of injuries the last couple of weeks. We had a good run for a while, but when you get a couple of injuries early in games, your fitness gets tested. It got tested last week, and we certainly fell off in the last quarter. But we're fit, they're strong. There'll be no excuses for that today.
Thanks for your time. All the best today.
Easy, guys. No worries.
Back to you guys.
Sorry to cut you off there, Raj. Thanks to Raj and Dan Donati for their time. Great to catch up with Dan Donati, Nutsy as they call him down at Toorak Park, who's got this old Xaverians team in pretty good order, 4-2 to start the year. Losses coming only to St Kevin's and Old Brighton for the red and black. This is the VAFA William Buck SEN Match of the Day, live every Saturday afternoon on vafa.com.au and the SEN app, and we'll get back down to Raj a little bit later on, who will have the coach of the Uni Blues, Matt Smith. Hugo and Matthew, I might start with you, Matthew, because you saw the Old Xaverians last week in their loss to the Tunners. What did you see from them that impressed you?
Gee, well, I thought their response in the second quarter, or either side of quarter time, really was quite impressive. So Old Brighton got out to a rapid fire start. They kicked the first 4 goals of the game and really got the jumper on the Xavs. But then the Xavs responded with 4 of their own. The only problem with that was in the second term, then the Tunners replied with the next 5. So it was a real game of momentum swings in that first half. That was probably the only point in the game, though, where the Xavs really had or were on top. It was a really difficult conditions. The rain was on and off, and it made the ground and the ball quite difficult to control. And I think it was just a case of the Tunners being better at being able to adapt to the conditions than that. And as Dan Donati mentioned there, they lost a couple of folk early to injury. So Jet Fenley and Jack O'Sullivan both going down early, which proved costly as the match wore on.
Yeah, so 4 changes for the Old Xaverians. So Fenley going out, O'Sullivan going out, both through injury, but they've also had a couple of omissions. Goss went out, he played in the reserves a few moments ago. Also Charlie Holmes, the ins, Nick Guiney, Sterling Phipps Parsons, Hamish McIsaac and Tom Hart, Hugo Higginbotham.
Yes, really. Oh, here we go.
Oh, here we go. Raj Johnston is by the boundary with Matt Smith, the coach of the Uni Blues.
Thanks, Paddy. I'm with Uni Blues coach Matt Smith. Matt, thanks for your time. The Xavs are one of the better performing sides to date this season. So how did you prepare this week for this clash?
Yeah, they're certainly in form, that's for sure. But I think it's for us is whether we're up to the test. We've been thereabouts in quarters and in games, and that's been well spoken about. But whether we can be there for 4 quarters today and just bring that pressure and take away their style of play that they want to be playing. Any changes to your team from last week? We got Ned Evans up from the 2s last week. He'll play on the wing, and Henry Wicks will come back through on ball after doing his shoulder a couple of weeks ago against Scobbs. You've spoken to some of them already, but what are the couple of identifiable keys to victory in today's match? I think it's just discipline and just, as I said, that at-ball pressure. They've got elite users across the field, and if we allow them to get on top with their use and we keep folding back, they'll pick us apart all day. So it's our at-ball manic pressure who's going to hold us in good stead today. Thanks, Matt. No worries, thanks.
Thanks to Matt Smith and Raj Johnston for that interview by the boundary. Let's resume our conversations about the Old Xaverians, Hugo, because I know you've seen them a couple of times this year.
Yes, I have. They're very impressive with their ball movement, but let's look at last week a little bit. That's a 10-goal loss, but you sort of wonder with a loss like that, they had some injuries. Have they shown Old Brighton anything? But they got a good look at Old Brighton as well, because Old Brighton were actually on top and dominating the game as well. So that's something that they can sort of have in the back of their mind. They can pick that one apart, because let's be frank, that 10-goal loss, they probably didn't play that well. But interesting one today is going to be some of the matchups as well. We know there's big James Stewart down forward. What are the Xavs going to do with that one? Really honest. And then I think we're also talking about the other forward, Townsend, I think going a little bit deeper, one out. So let's just see how they handle that as well. Because this level of football, you have to prepare for the other team. And unfortunately, you have to be on top of who's playing well, because you can get absolutely opened up with some of these sides as well.
It's just a couple of those forced changes, Fenley and O'Sullivan. Guiney was a laid out for Holmes last week, so they've just reversed that change, so that sort of makes sense. The out I'm really curious about is Will Goss, who's sort of been their designated kick-in taker this year. Who that's going to be now that he's not there. But they've got a couple of very good ins. Phipps Parsons is clearly integral to the Xavs forward line. Tom Hart comes back in, and McIsaac as well for his first game of the season. That's Hamish and Dan Downey mentioned running around in the number 8. So that will be so there's some interesting ins and outs there for the Xavs. 4 changes is a lot, regardless of the result last week.
I dare say it's a big day for co-skipper Campbell Lane, Hugo and Matthew, because we caught up with him in the centre of the University Oval, which is in remarkable order considering the rain that we've had this week and earlier today. It's pretty hard in the middle where the centre wicket usually is. A touch muddy but pretty nice underfoot. Campbell Lane told us he's chomping at the bit to play today. He's usually the key possession getter for the Xavs, averaging 30 disposals. He's got the second most touches in the VAFA this season. So I think with Goss being absent, it might be Campbell Lane who'll get a lot of the footy flowing through him.
Yes, wasn't he excited about that far wing? There's a lot of space out there. Yeah. He's going to be tearing up and down there all day, but he's had massive numbers. I saw him round 1. I think he had 40 or something like that, Matty. He was amazing then. But also, too, you've got him on the wing. Then you've got a really interesting sort of double punch combination of Tuddenham and Phipps Parsons down forward, which is exciting. They're excitement machines. So expect to see Campbell Lane, 1 or 2 bounces on the wing, straight into the square. Phipps Parsons, well, I've already butchered that name, but I'll no doubt do it again today.
There's a lot of P's in that name,
there is. I know, it's full of alphabet soup. but it's actually exciting forward line to watch.
Well, if Lane is taking the kick-ins, it'll be an interesting start to the season for him. He's just slowly regressed back, because he started on the wing, as you said. It was like 40 plus and 2 goals, I think, as well to start the year.
41.
Then he's moved toward, thank you for that, Paddy, 41. Then he sort of moved towards halfback, and has played a bit there in the last couple of weeks. Now if he goes to fullback and start taking the kick-ins, it's a great weapon, though, for Dan Donati to have, though, a player who can play in multiple different positions, because his ability to use the ball and find them as much of it as he can, I mean, that can come in handy anywhere on the ground.
We'll get down to Raj in a few minutes' time for a conditions report as well. There is a little bit of a breeze about, so more from Raj in just a few moments' time about that. Let's talk the University Blues. This is a very intercept-heavy team, Hugo Higginbotham. They love to try and mark the ball and rebound, use their angles through the University Oval, and as we've already mentioned, there's some key figureheads up forward. Where do you want to start with the Blues?
Yeah, look, last week was an interesting one because they had such a really good start and were absolutely very frustrated, Matt Smith was, I know, because they lost their shape apparently, and that's when things went bad. So, which can happen. First-year coach, probably trying to change a few things. With that sort of style, you need everyone to be on the same page. The easiest thing to do is obviously linear football, kick it long down the line. But if they're trying to get that real transition, fast ball, sideways to go forward type movement, you've got to have the players moving there. If they're not there, you can't kick it there. Well, you can kick it there, Paddy, but no one's going to get it.
Yeah, I'm really keen to watch the player you mentioned a little bit ago, Ben Townsend, and the number 44, who's taken the most contested marks out of anyone in the amateurs, despite being about 6'1", 6'2". When you've got James Stewart and Sam Grimley inside 50, you don't expect to see the third banana flying and taking those marks. But he's a really exciting player out of Queenscliff and the Geelong amateurs. Just played the 8 games last year, but he did play a game of thirds for the Uni Blues. So he's had quite the rise for this season, kicked 10 goals in his 6 games so far. Before we talk further about the matchup today, let's go around the grounds, all thanks to the Avery Melbourne, which is a proper local with great food, music, and the occasional, this will excite you, Hugo, raucous trivia night. Today's William Buck Premier Community TV doubleheader is out at the TH King Oval in Toorak, so that's St Kevin's and Old Haileybury. They are the 4-2 teams we mentioned just a little bit ago. They're trying to keep pressure on the ladder-leading Old Brighton side. And the Bloods, you are right, Hugo, they've never won a game at the TH King in senior men's footy, so they're out to make some history today. The other streamed game is on VAFA.com.au. It's St Bernard's and Old Scotch. The reigning premiers really digging into the depth of the list early in the season. It's been injuries, it's been VFL availability. That's been the story for the Cards. They are yet to win a game at home, though, the Snow Dogs. They're 4-2, won all the games on the road, but will fancy their chances today. Elsewhere, it's D-Lar and the Uni Blacks at the Waverley Oval, Collegians and Old Brighton at the Harry Trott Oval. As far as the toss goes here at the Uni Main, it was the Old Xavs who won it through Marcus Stavro, and they will kick to the Swanston Street end of the ground to the left of your screen. Raj Johnston is down on the boundary for us today, and he's got a good idea of the conditions. How are they down there, Raj?
Hello, Paddy. Yeah, there's a lot of rain yesterday and overnight, so as you can expect, the ground has seen better days, particularly on the grandstand side. There's a lot of mud in certain pockets of the ground, so that's something that have to be kept in mind. As for the wind, as you have touched on, there is a bit of a breeze heading northerly, but that might pick up throughout the afternoon, so we'll keep an eye on that. But a top of 19, so not a bad day for footy.
Thanks for that, Raj. Riding the boundary for us today for Kosh Living, luxury, modern and designer outdoor furniture. The first quarter coming up for Sugar by Half, helping us protect current and future generations from health dangers of eating too much sugar. Both squads have broken from their huddles. Hugo Higginbotham, a final word from you.
Looking for a really good contest today, but I would think that the Xavs may be a little bit too strong just with their good ball users over the ground. But just looking for these matchups now with Townsend. That's one I want to look at. What about the number 44? Isn't that an enigma, that number? There's always a good 44 that pops up everywhere. And it's a horrible number too.
I think it's a wonderful number.
It's a waste of time. Anything above 35, forget about it.
It's a nice heavy number. It's remarkable. You sort of remember the 44s. Ben Townsend running around with the big blonde floppy mop as well, so you're not going to miss him.
No, certainly are not. Now, that's a very short 6'1". Oh no, that's right. He's standing next to Stewart. So that's why. Gee, he's a mountain Stewart, isn't he?
He is. So the old Xavs, they've won their last 5 against the University Blues. They're 4-2. They're in touch with the very top of William Buck Premier in 2025. They're out to keep in touch with Old Brighton at the top of the table. Saturday afternoon footy on the SEN app and on VAFA.com.au.
So it's Carrington and Spralia to contest the opening hit out. Spralia's tapped it down. And then the hand pass comes out, and there'll be an opportunity here for Simopoulos to kick it towards half forward for the Xavs. But getting behind, taking a good mark, there was Dykes, and was dealt with afterwards. And he's going to get a 50-metre penalty.
There's that intercepting mark we were talking about earlier, first one into the forward line, so look for them to do that all day. And that was a very, very short, the 50 still going. What's going on there?
They did. Maybe it was 15, not 50. Dykes drives it back inside, attacking 50 the first time. Here's that man, Townsend, gets a hand pass out, a scrappy one, and then one more goes over the top. Simopoulos is going to gather it here, gets the hand pass back, snapping kick around the body, exits the defensive 50, bouncing ball, not gathers it, draws LaCava, gets the hand pass across, and then over the top one more. That's hand pass down on the full. I don't see that too often, but it'll be a boundary throw in between wing and half forward for Uni Blues.
Is it just me or Marty Gleeson looking a touch lame as he's jogging back to his defensive post in front of us? That might be one to keep an eye on for Author Sport Victoria.
It certainly
the
is.
2 on his numbers looking a bit groggy as well.
He's the number 12 at the moment. He's got a 1 and a question mark on his back.
He's favouring his hip at the moment too. A little bit of a limp there. That's interesting.
So between wing and half forward for the old Xaverians, there's Hart with his first touch. Carrington's got him. He's going nowhere. We'll do it all again.
I think Hart's got the job on Stewart today.
So Stewart coming up to the contest. He's behind and he lays a big bump there. It's taken away by Churgwin. Leads the VAFA for disposals. Kicks it to half forward where they'll sort of form over the top of it. Townsend with a smother. Umpire's picked out a throw. Going the way of James Curran. 55 metres out right half forward. Backs his length. He kicks it long. He doesn't kick it particularly straight. Out of bounds and the full in the left forward pocket.
He actually got a bit too close to the man on the mark there, had to pull the kick, and all his teammates weren't expecting that. They'd all come up the ground saying, kick it to me, and he said, no, I'm going for home, boys.
So Woodhouse to McIsaac, the debutant. Hamish, the cousin of Charlie, goes short to McRae, who tries to get around Townsend, feigns it nicely and drives the kick up towards Simopoulos. Taylor was there, well, it was knocked away. Trigger gathering it in from the boundary line. Good tackle applied on him. Appeals for holding the ball, but instead we'll get a stoppage. Right at the edge of the interchange gates here for the old Xavs. Ball tossed up once again. Sprayley got it down to Simopoulos. Hand pass out wide. The umpire almost got in the way there. Stepping out of trouble nicely there was Brosnahan. He gets the hand pass back out. Kick comes here towards Fisher, who's found a bit of space on the wing and marks. He's got McRae shorter further on. Instead he wants to switch the play towards centre half back. Fraught with danger. No mark taken, but it is a free kick. They've got away with that one. Archie Lord was impeded in the marking contest, and he gets the free kick. Looks to drive it back out wide, further afield. Not a good kick, bouncing ball. They've got the numbers here, the Xavs. The trickles towards the boundary line. And Bain is happy to see it over for a throw-in, centre wing far side.
So with that transition to the far side of the ground there, that's a much wider wing, and the wind is pushing that way as well. So if you get it out there, you're going to be stuck out there all day. They needed to take that mark, go through the middle of the ground.
So Melbourne University Oval side, sun shining down on the Melbourne Uni. It's thrown back in for Carrington to reach a left mid-up, but that ball is going nowhere. It's Fisher, the reigning Woodrow medalist, laying the tackle. And a WA, played for the Big V last year in WA, which would have been a bit strange for Sam, and the number 9 for the red and black today. Ball back in the air, hacked forward by the Blues, between wing and half forward. That one is out of bounds on the full, will be taken by Dunn.
So this is what I'm talking about, Paddy. That's the defensive side of the ground, so it's going to be so hard to bring it back from there. That's 2.5 kicks back, and you've got the wind to deal with as well. We did notice earlier that everyone was trying to hug this top side of the ground, the commentary position end, and they're still trying to find the ball down there. But going to be a hard effort to get back from there.
Approaching 4 minutes gone in the first term for Sugar by half. Yet to score both squads. Kick long down the wing. Carrington front spot for the Blues. Won it down in front of himself. Stavro handled it backwards to Simeopoulos, who kicks it towards right half forward for the Xavs. And Gleeson, who shook off a knock to the hip, takes the intercept grab.
So that's 2 intercepts coming into 50 already in the game.
So he's number 1 for intercepts in the amateurs this year, Marty Gleeson. Number 1 for rebound 50s. He finds Churgwin, who goes across the face of goal dangerously, as you said, but Mitch Lloyd waited. McIsaac flew, and he took the mark in his hands, Lloyd, then pushed it further to right half back. LaCava, who slipped over at first, goes next to O'Shea, who's in the chain. Former Blue and Port Adelaide player, now dices it into the corridor. Churgwin tried to mark out his bootlaces, couldn't hold on. He had some teammates for company. Went first to Lloyd, who then went by hand to LaCava, kicked towards half forward, cut off by Stavro, who intercepts for the Xaverians at left half back.
Stavro wants to bring it out towards centre half back. Knott's got it now. He's got to come back on the mark and then goes out wide once again. Goes over the head of Westcott, who's got to now track it towards the boundary line. Gets the hand pass away, and they're out of trouble now, the Xavs. Short kick up the line is effective. Got it a half forward, want to wheel and go inside 50. The kick to Fish is not short enough. He gets around his opponent. Hands off to Westcott, who kept on running. Kicks it inside 50 to Simeopoulos. Umpire said play on, wasn't 15. Simeopoulos snaps towards goal and scores. Well worked finish from the Xavs. They've got the first of the day. Dylan Simeopoulos with his 5th of the season. And on the Sugar by half scoreboard, we played 5.5 minutes in the opening term. Old Xavs 1 straight 6, Uni Blues yet to score.
Beautiful call there, Matty, but just noticed Campbell Lane getting involved out there on that wing. He was integral there, followed up, hands out. I think it was Tuddenham as well involved there, but that was just that run and carry through. That's what they're going to have to do. And then, look, it probably could have been a mark. Umpire probably made the right call, actually saying not 15, but beautiful execution on the left, a snapping goal. Great way to start.
Around the grounds for the Avery, Melbourne. St Kevin's away first at the TH King there. 6 points, Old Haileybury just to behind. That one's on Community TV, which you can watch at your leisure. A free kick to Fisher in the centre circles. Goes towards half forward, not a great kick. Cut off with ease by O'Shea, who's another key member of the Blues intercepting corps. That kick's not carried the required 15. So Crocker has to figure it out and then pushes it nice and wide to Charlie Cotter, who turns 18 today. Out of the Claremont Colts. He's a left footer, got Stewart in the 1-on-1, got rid of his opponent, 2 hands to it. The Xavs come across the front and spoil the party. Woodhouse cleans up, kicks it straight to Geordie LaCava of the Blues. Inside 50 for Grimley, the kick carried him. It'll roll all the way to the goal mouth where it's cleaned up by Campbell Lane, and he'll come out for the Xavs through right half back.
And it's Parsons who's back in the sides, got it now at half back, long way from home, tries to spear the kick up the wing, it's been turned over. Junghans won it back, and now Gleeson's got it in the centre of University Oval. Well, it's a mongrel old punt towards half forward, wobbly old ball, goes over the head there of Lord. Lane's there, judged it nicely. Back to Phipps Parsons, who's going to get another go. He spears that one, straight onto the chest there of Lloyd. And they'll get another opportunity to send it back inside 50 now, the Blues. Lloyd called to go by the umpire, so clips it up towards centre half forward. McRae got hands to it. It's come over the back though. They'll get an opportunity here, the Blues. Crocker, short little stabbing pass, looking for Grimley, went through his hands, but he'll get the free kick. And Sam Grimley will line up for goal.
Xavs are falling down a little bit by coming up to the ball too much, so they're leaving 3 or 4 back, and that's obviously where the Blues get their intercepting marking from, because they hold that really good zone and it's very hard to get through. So it's probably got to be more lateral movement from Xavs and faster ball movement to get away from that.
6 goals from his 6 games so far this season, Sam Grimley. 6 goals, 7 in fact. The 2-time Frosty Miller medalist. He's
another big boy too, isn't he, Matty?
He is.
Not lacking any height down there.
No, they've got enough tools down there and enough quality as well. So this will be a good opportunity here for Sam Grimley to sink his teeth into the contest early. It's not a difficult kick. Be about a 45-degree angle, only 25 metres out. The big fella comes out of the right boot, and he's got it. So the Uni Blues get the opening reply. 1 straight 6 apiece here. 8 minutes gone in the opening term, and that's on the Sugar by half scoreboard.
So, as we spoke about again, the Xavs coming high up the ground, just blocking that avenue over there. So it's going to be a bit of two-way running or lateral ball movement to get away from that there as well. But very, very impressive, this intercepting marking already. It's on display early here at the University Oval.
We expected to see it, didn't we, Hugo?
Yes.
And Marty Gleeson's leading the troop. Cam O'Shea also involved. Over at the Harry Trott Oval, or for the Avery Melbourne, it's the Tunners, 2-1-13. Collegians yet to score in that contest. At the TH King Old Haileybury, 1-1-7. St Kevin's 1 straight. So those are the other 2 games going on. St Bernard's and Old Scotch and D-La and Uni Blacks opening stages. No goals kicked in those contests yet. We'll keep you updated across the course of the afternoon. Here's Spralia of the Xavs. He emerged front of the contest, kicked to McIsaac and a 1-on-1. And he had position 1A the whole way through. Pushed off nicely. Looked like Lloyd, who was in a dangerous position, and McIsaac will go back for his first.
What about the roving effort of the big ruckman there, Spraley? No one's getting in the way of him. And who says ruckman shouldn't kick the ball? Well, I do generally, but that was a good execution.
Slight angle, 25 metres out. McIsaac opted to go around the corner and did so cleanly, put it through the middle. So the Xavs get their second. 2 straight 12. Uni Blues 1 straight 6. We've played just about 9.5 minutes in this first term, all thanks to Sugar by Half. Good game of footy developing so far. Hugo Higginbotham.
Yes, very nice. Going end to end, which is good, but I'm seeing Fisher getting a lot of the ball in the middle of the ground. His clearance work is excellent. He started that one again, and it's probably about his 3rd clearance already. So big day for him, I think. Big day.
Didn't get the rewards that his efforts deserved last week, McIsaac. Just the 2 marks from his 6 disposals, but actually got his hands to a lot more than that. Weren't conditions for key forwards. I noticed he's ditched the sleeves, though, which is not my favourite move, but it seems to have paid dividends for him early with a goal in the opening term. Ball back in the middle. Stavro was on top of it, and he's immediately set upon, and we'll get another stoppage.
Talking about that goal, lucky Pecci's not here. When he saw him swing around the corner and not kick it straight in a drop punt, Pecci would have pulled any hair out that he had left.
Oh no, he would have lost it completely, Pecci.
Yes.
Another opportunity. Crocker gets it on the boot, throws it high towards half forward. Stewart's the target. Brought it to ground, took a couple of Xavs out with him. Now Lane's pursuing it to the boundary line, keeps it in play. The hand pass back to Lord, missed its target. It's opened things up here for the Blues. Stewart's got to go in there again, tracks it towards the boundary line, crashes into the fence. And we'll get a boundary throw it inside, attacking 50 for the Blues.
So Stewart's obviously the target down there for the Blues, but because they haven't got much separation between the forwards, the defenders roll off, so every time he's going for the ball, it's a 3-on-1.
What's going on here?
Blood rule, I think, for Sam Fisher, who is jogging off the ground.
Oh yeah, he's got a nice red cheek at the moment, does Fisher. So he'll come off. Simiopoulos will replace him.
Raj Johnston will be chasing that one up for us for Author Sport Victoria. Hopefully just a little bit of a grace for Sam Fisher. Makes him look tough.
Well, it was the 80s. That's what you used to do. If someone's getting a lot of clearances, clean them up.
So Spralia had front spot, tapped down, sharked by Stewart, although he lost it. And now it's come out. There's McIsaac again. Looks to hand pass towards Hart, who's back in for the first time this season. But the boundary line's beaten him to it, and we'll get a boundary throw in once again.
So Zav's persisting with that far side of the ground. There is a lot of space out there, but it's not really paying dividends because it's very hard to get it away from there.
So left half forward for the Blues. 1 goal game. Zavs 2 straight. The Blues 1 straight. It's hacked inside 50 for the Uni Blues into the forward pocket. Stewart's there with Hart. They were embracing each other just about at the top of the goal square. The ball rolled off them and then through for a rush behind.
So let's see who takes this kick in now. The first time they've had an opportunity to do so today, the Xavs.
So for Sugar by Half, the lead is 5 points for the old Xaverians, approaching 12 minutes gone first term. Lane with the kick-in duties, Matt, to answer your question.
You called it, Matty. He's doing everything now.
Dangerous kick into the pocket. It hung in the air for Charlie McIsaac and it was cut down. Townsend's with the footy at left half forward for the Blues. Now the entry kick towards Grimley again, who's been a threat and marked that one on his chest beneath the scoreboard. Will go back from 35 metres out, 45-degree angle, Hugo Higginbotham.
Virtually the same spot he had the last kick from, so rinse, repeat. But you're just seeing a really good...
He's gone around the corner, sorry, Hugo, and Sam Grimley has got 2 early ones here at Uni Main. They're 2-1-13, the Blues. Old Xaverians 2 straight 12, 12.5 gone, Sugar by Half scoreboard. The Blues take the lead for the first time today.
I think I just heard Pecci screaming about that one too. All those kicks around the corner. But that was a really good setup behind the ball of the Blues there. So they're happy to give away extras at the contest, but they know they're there to clean it up as it comes out. And then a beautiful entry in as well. So that's the thing. You've got Grimley, you've got the new kid Townsend, you've got Stewart down there. It's not a great day to be a backman, I don't think, in that forward line.
Goal for goal early on here at Uni Oval. Spralia with the tap down once again, claimed by Carrington, who gets a hand pass out to Crocker. And then one more to Bain, who goes up. It goes over the head there of Evans, and now it's tracking towards the boundary line. spending a fair bit of time on that side of the ground in this opening term and a boundary throw in. It's one thing for the crafty forwards to go around the body, Hugo, but the conventional key forwards doing it, I don't know.
It's a bit nerve-wracking, isn't it?
It is, as long as it goes through.
Especially with the bigger blokes, it's a long way from the hand to the foot.
It is. If you're going to do it, make sure you kick the goal, as I say. Toss back in again. Spralia front spot. He was being held. The umpire wave play on. Gathered by Carrington. It was a good smother by Stavro, who was laying on the ground when he did it. That's forced another ball up here. Nearly 14 minutes gone here in the opening term for Sugar by half. 2-1 to 2 straight. The Uni Blues lead. So once again, Spralia got it down. He's won a lot of the taps early. Lane on the wing. Kicks out high towards half forward. Lloyd was there rather, couldn't gather it cleanly. The bouncing ball, Tuddenham and Austin were there, neither could gather it for the Xavs. Still in dispute, Younghan's applying the tackle. And then trying to crash through was Goddard, he's caught, and it'll be another stoppage here.
So a note here from St Bernard's College, Old Scotch, 3-2-20. St Bernard's yet to score, that's for the Avery Melbourne. So it's the Cards who've started that game off nicely away from home. Successive ball ups here at centre half forward for the Xavs. It will be kicked away by the Blues from the contest. Tregar takes the intercepting mark, just got rid of Townsend with ease.
Really needs to move this laterally here. He's just very linear at the moment, looking straight down the line. He's found something inside, which is good. There we go.
There's a lead from Austin, which was good. Edge of the centre square. Had the handball option to his left. Decided instead to skim it to right half forward. Shallow entry. Charlie McIsaac got rid of the O'Shea tackle. Knocked it on. Whistle on the play. Might have been a throw by Charlie McIsaac. It was. So a free kick going the way of Cam O'Shea at left half back. And he's looking across to his opposite flank. Gleeson thinking about calling for the footy. And now pointing to Carrington, who's at centre half back. Conway O'Shea ignored both options. Kick down the wing. And when you've got James Stewart to kick to, that's why you do it, Hugo.
Long way from home for the big fella. Oh, he's kicked the man on the mark there.
So from behind the wing, it wasn't a great kick. You were right. The Blues will have to now do their work at ground level. Goes back to Churgwin. He's going to retreat to Mitch Taylor down the boundary. This should be tracked out. You'd think it might stick in for Jez Goddard, who chased after it and then ushered the ball out of play 60 metres from the Uni Blues goal.
Zav's really struggling to get through that zone setup at the moment. They probably need to run and carry a little bit more through half forward, try and get those deeper entries. They did look dangerous earlier when they went in deep.
It's Spralia and Carrington again. They've done most of the rucking in this first term. That time Carrington got there first, tried to grab it out of the ruck, slipped through his hands, and then Stewart was trying to crash through. Goddard likewise had to apply the tackle in the end. And it'll be another stop. It's just outside attacking 50 here for the Blues, who still have their 1 point lead. 16 minutes gone here in this opening term. Carrington again with a tap, although there was a free kick for a hold. It's going to go the way of Spralia. So the big Xavs ruckman's got it at half back. Now, does the ruckman just keep it simple? He does. He goes up the line. Big pack of players. McIsaac was there, got hands to it, and then Moyle was taken in a tackle. And we'll get another stoppage on the centre wing, far side of the ground here. The Melbourne University wing.
We're not seeing a lot of lateral movement from Xavs at the moment. They're happy to play that up the line game. They really need to try and open this game up a little bit. I wonder if they're a little bit damaged from last week, Paddy.
Now, the kicking in danger free kick, you don't see those paid too often, but it has been paid here and going the way of the Uni Blues. Now, the umpire's call for a play on.
Booming kick.
It's driven high up towards half forward. Stewart, 1-2, grabs, got it. He's making his presence felt early here, James Stewart. The centre half forward's taken a couple of nice marks, and now he's got an opportunity to add a goal to his tally early on. He'll take a good kick, though, from outside 50.
Oh, he's a good kick, but that was just pure brute physical strength there. Poor old Hardy, you can't get in a wrestling match with Stewart. He's going to have to try and play off him a little bit and try and intercept that ball or just affect a hand or something like that. But we just saw then wrestling, no good for Hart.
Uni Blues leading goal scorer this year with 14 goals, 5. It's in good hands. He drives it from outside 50. He had the distance, no worries. It's landed in a car park, but it's gone wide, a minor score. They've doubled their lead though, Uni Blues, 2-2-14. Old Xavs 2 straight 12. 17.5 gone in this opening term for Sugar by half.
Calling the action out of the vestibule of sorts in the Ernie Cropley Pavilion. There's a great function going on behind us, which we'll hear about a little bit more at half time when we speak to the presidents of both the Blues and the Xavs. So make sure you stick around for that. Something funny, Hugo?
Oh, no, just great use of the word vestibule.
Here go the Xavs, kicking it towards us on the commentary wing. Big leap from Gleeson, who came from 4 deep for the spoil. Carrington's kick forward was smothered. He'll go again with a ruck. Siniopoulos brings him down and gets him holding the ball.
Just watching Gleeson here, he's still having trouble getting over the ground. He's got a corky or something going on. We'll have to keep an eye on that. He might have to come back and have a seat in the vestibule up here with us.
Correct. Here's Simeopoulos at left half back. Does a 360, didn't like his options inside, takes a running bounce, tries to get around Carrington, goes with a dicing kick. Gleeson flew early, was lucky to not give away a free kick, intercepted by Mitch Lloyd of the Blues, who wants Townsend, who got two hands to it, couldn't bring it down against Dunn pressure. The Xavs off half back, that's a kick up the wing. Woodhouse was front position, couldn't bring it down, and now they'll be happy with the stoppage, you'd think here, the Blues and the Xavs. It's locked up. Attacking side of the wing for the Uni Blues. 2-2-14 they are, the old Xavs, 2 goals straight. Approaching time on here for Sugar by half at the Uni main. And Phipps Parsons lays a tackle, will get successive ball ups.
Geez, they've got a very good setup behind the ball, Blues. I'm very impressed with this at the moment. They're all over Xavs here.
Tap down, here's centre wing, right in front of us. Whitehead was taken in a tackle by Westcott, and we'll get another stop. I tell you what, if Gleeson did do a corky, he must have done it in the opening contest of the game because there wasn't a lot of time for him to do it. Trying to take on the tackle there. Not by wave, play on, and now it's a chance here for the Xavs. They've kicked it inside, attacking 50, bouncing ball. Moyle's got to beat a couple. Ball stays in play. Gathered nicely there by Dykes. And then the hand pass comes over the top. One more, and then Taylor drives it up towards the wing. Townsend's the target. Had one spot. Good clean mark from Ben Townsend. Strong grab.
I like the look at this guy. I like the look at this. That was very strong for a 6'1" guy.
He goes short to Ewan Hands.
Not that there's anything wrong with 6'1" guys. I think it's a perfect height.
And then he comes back inboard.
There's this lateral movement.
And they want to bring it back inside into the central vestibule. 3 for 3, gents. We're going all right.
Yeah, we've done well. Ooh.
Well, that's don't know about that kick though. It's trickled inside 50. And then Simeopoulos is trying to take on the world. He could be gone. The umpire let it go a long time. Fisher got the hand pass away. It's been turned over. Austin applies the tackle. The Blues have won it back. It's at half forward. Curran got the hand pass out. And then it's come out one more. Young Hans tries to reel it in with one. And then he's grabbed in a tackle by Bain. And it'll be a ball up at half forward here for the Blues.
Let's go down to Raj Johnston, who's on the boundary for us today.
Yeah, Paddy, as Matty just alluded to, good news for the Xavs. Sam Fisher patched up and back on the ground after going off with the blood rule.
Thanks for that, Raj. So kick deep inside 50 here for the Uni Blues is out of bounds on the full. So it'll be the Xavs from the right back pocket.
Yeah, let's just have a look here, Paddy. I was going to say, every time they've moved the ball, they've gone that far side of the ground. I'd really like to see them come lateral. They're not even looking at the moment. They just want long down the line as far as they can, get it away from them.
So it's a big pack down the far side wing. Dykes got two hands to it of the Blues. Couldn't bring down the mark. It'll be taken away by Austin of the old Xaverians. He kicks towards centre half forward. It's a nicely balanced kick. Brosnahan back with the flight. There's no one ahead of him. They're all charging forward now to the goal square. Brosnahan from true centre half forward. Kicks to the top of the square. Might have been a mark there to the old Xaverians. It's been paid. Now pick out who that was. It was Cam O'Shea of the Blues who was leaking back to try and make a difficulty of it. Looks like Nick Guiney down there who's taken it at the top of the goal square. So one of the inclusions for the old Xaverians of Richmond VFL should have no issues with this one from 11 metres out directly in front and stabs it through. So the Xavs get their third. They're back in front. 3 straight 18. The University Blues 2-2-14. Approaching 22 minutes gone. First term Sugar by half scoreboard.
Well, there's a formula there a little bit. They run and carry through that half forward. Fair enough, there was no one at home, but there was the running race and they were out in front. Actually, I think the two Xavs players nearly spoiled each other there, and they were the only ones we possibly could have. But that's the formula. They can't afford those higher entries and those bombs into the half forward line because that's where Blues are so good, absolutely so good. So they needed that one, the Xavs. They were under a lot of pressure there before. So I think the ball's been stolen here again. That kid with his BMX from the other week, he's got another ball and he's gone.
Jeez, he's got the ability to get around the suburbs of Melbourne in 2025. We have just had a Sharon that's been thrown out from the timekeeper's box, so we may not be seeing that footy again. It might give us an opportunity, gentlemen, to go briefly around the grounds for the Aviary because Old Brighton, they are 5-1-31. Collegians yet to score at Harry Trott Oval. Old Scotch 4-2-26. St Bernard's yet to score at St Bernard's College. So two pretty interesting results for the latter there, Matthew Donald.
Indeed it is, and we'll keep you posted on that throughout the course of the afternoon. But in the meantime, back at the match of the day, it's Simeopoulos who drives it back inside 50. Going back, taking a good mark there is Conway. Very good at that, Nick Conway. Took 3 of those intercept marks last week.
He's one of 6 players down there that's very good at
Yeah,
it
they're
too.
very good at winning the back, not so good at delivering out of defence though. That was a wobbly old kick, we've seen a few of those, but they've managed to maintain possession here of the Uni Blues. Now it's in the hands of Evans, who's back in the side. Drives up towards half forward, bit of space here coming out to meet it. Stewart almost had it, lost it. And then Connor now, he runs to 50, on the left foot, drives it all the way home!
Happy birthday!
Beautiful finish from Charlie Connor. And a quick response again from the Uni Blues. Goal of the day contender for Jumbo Court without a shadow of a doubt. The complete waste management solution. And on the Sugar Bay half scoreboard, 23 and a half minutes gone here in this opening term. The Uni Blues take the lead back. 3-2-20, holds the Xavs, 3 straight 18.
Excellent marking effort there by the big fella, James Stewart. So that's a really good way to get the ball on his head, because he's not going to get out-marked. Either he's going to take the mark or hits the ground. And a beautiful roving goal there by Charlie Cotter too. And you absolutely called that perfectly, Matty. Might see that one again during the week, I think, on the highlights reel.
Well, he's time-coded that one, has our man Matthew Donald. You'll be seeing that in the BSV plays of the week as we return to the middle of the ground. 3 lead changes in this one already. Sam Grimley's into the ruck for the Uni Blues. On the second time of asking spikes in the Goddard direction, it's the Xaverians, though, that win the clearance. Lloyd is wrapped up 2 metres outside of the centre circles as he came up from the centre half back. It was Mitch Taylor, rather, being tackled. So back in the air. Grimley getting a stint against Spralia, which is tough going for the number 9. Simeopoulos wins the clearance for the Old Xaverians. Kicks to the edge of the centre square. It pitches and takes a wicked bounce. Nice little bump by Gleeson, cleared some space for the Uni Blues. Now it's with Mitch Taylor tight-roping the boundary on the right foot. Tries to be precise, but he picks out Hamish McIsaac down the far wing, and will quickly dice a ball on the 45. It's a good kick. He's found down Tuddenham.
Tuddenham gets a hand pass across to Lane, who wants to spear the pass inside 50, plenty of space. Oh, no, went with a one-handed mark, and it fell out of his grasp, but then he has to apply the tackle. A missed opportunity there for the Xavs. Instead, we'll get a ball up inside. They're attacking 50. Sprader again knocks it down. Lord was in there. Junghan's got the hand pass out, and then high clearing kick up towards the wing is wide. And it might be too wide. Has that gone out of bounds on the full?
It's a long way.
Like it might have, yes. McRae to take the kick in.
It's a long way back out there, isn't it?
Oh, no, it is a boundary throw in. Okay, looked like McRae was going to take the kick in, but no, it stayed just inside the field of play, so we'll get a boundary throw in instead. Spralia and Grimley taking a turn in the ruck now. They're doing it all in this opening term. Got a couple of goals. Spralia that time got the tap out, and then Shergwin dribbles a kick up towards the wing, and McIsaac got hands to it, but the boundary line beat him to it. We'll get another boundary throw in.
This is what I keep harping on about, but it's hard to get her away from that boundary line over there. You've got the breeze in your back, and it's a long way back.
Spralia, well, he tried to win the tap out with his boot there. He missed it. And it's come out to Lord now. And then another high kick there from Bain out towards half forward. Trigger going with the spoil over the back. He couldn't get hands to it. It's come loose. McIsaac's got to go back and get it. He did well. Woodhouse trying to get around Curran, goes backwards. And now the kick around the body out towards the wing. Evans trying to pursue it, chasing down the kick, and it's gone out of play. Another boundary throw in.
Dangerous ball here for Xavs. We're deep into red time again, so they have to win this clearance, get it away from the danger zone of that very dangerous Blues forward line.
So for Sugar by half, it's the Uni Blues 3-2-20. Old Xavs 3 straight 18, approaching 27 minutes gone in the first. Stavro on his back trying to retrieve that footy after the throw-in at ground level, and the umpire calls a stalemate. And we'll throw it up between wing and half forward for the Uni Blues. And you're right, Hugo, they've looked potent ahead of the footy. Stewart, Grimley and Townsend all involved early in the piece.
Ball.
And they'll be going inside 50 here. Churgwin takes the advantage, runs to 52 metres, backs himself, but he's kicked it well skinny. Out of bounds on the full in the left forward pocket for Darcy. So the Xavs will be bailed out.
Did not even look on this side of the ground then.
So Hart, oh sorry Hugo.
No, they're just happy with that long down the line stuff. I suppose it is red time, you want to kill it over the boundary.
So from the right back pocket, Hart kicked it down the far side wing where McIsaac and Stavro will take it out.
And that's exactly what they wanted. Centre wing on the boundary, late in the quarter, just try and kill that one.
So as Hugo said, we're approaching 28 minutes gone here in this opening term. Been 6 goals kicked in it. It's been a really entertaining opening term. Grimley front spot, Stavro tries to fend off 1 and 2. Got the hand pass out, Lane fumbled it though. The moment has passed for the Xavs to take a quick breakaway inside attacking 50. Sherwin gets the hand pass back. Oh, neat little turn there by Junghans. Drives the kick up towards half forward. No good though. It's been turned over. McIsaac swooping in, wins it back at half back for the Xavs. Hamish McIsaac on debut. Cousin of Charlie. He boots up high towards the wing. Spralia's the target there. Lloyd was there as well. Junghans with a hand pass back to Lord, although he was charged down. And then Taylor was caught the tackle as well, and we'll do it again. This time it's at half forward for the Xavs.
So not long to go here, so really curious to see whether the Xavs go all-out attack, because I'd love to get another goal before quarter time.
So you think it wouldn't go much further than 30 minutes this first term as Churgwin and Stavro wrestle over it, and we'll get another stoppage. We'll see a fair bit of that today, you'd think. Stavro averaging the 27.3 touches this year. Darcy Churgwin the 31.7. They're ball magnets on the inside. Ball back in the air. Grimley's just thrown out of it by Spralia. He's now stuck over at the top of the footy. Spralia on top of him. And it will be thrown in the air again. So, you're right, Hugo, there's a real noticeable goal, probably for both sides, to try and keep this ball really wide and not allow it to get into space and risk a score being kicked against you deep in red time. Here's Mitch Taylor. No left side, so right on the right foot, check sides it high in the air, down the Melbourne University wing. And Tregar is wrestled out of play in neutral territory. Conditions still fine here at Uni Main. A few clouds around, they don't look heavy with rain. And as we look around the competition, the story early is Old Brighton 7-3-45 leading Collegians 1 straight 6 at the Harry Trott. Old Scotch 8-3-51 leading St Bernard's 1 straight 6. 45-point leaders, the Cards, are well on top away from home. Here's Lane, goes towards half forward, and Charlie McIsaac, it slipped through his fingers. Lloyd is there with Gleeson. Gleeson is wrestled out of bounds. And the umpire says all fair, we'll throw it in. Arca 50, Xavs in attack.
A couple of big quarters around the competition there. There's an 8-goal. Scotch haven't kicked 8 goals for the last couple of weeks. They've done it in a quarter now.
We'll have a look at the goal kickers in a few moments if we can out at St Bernard's College, because it's a key result for Mark Nat's men, who have started this year pretty poorly.
Spralia couldn't win the tap, but then got boots of ball inside attacking 50, although he's coming back out. Had kick around the body, spills free. There was Taylor, got the hand pass out, and then Junghans lost it, and Evans was put under pressure. He got rid of the football somehow. And now Woodhouse applies the tackle, and we'll get another ball up inside attacking 50 for the Xavs. They're pressing late in this term. They trail by 2 points. You're on the first quarter scoreboard for Sugar by half. Grimley there with the tap down, and another clearing kick out of trouble here for the Blues. Townsend coming in from the side. Put it to ground. McIsaac leads Whitehead to the race for the football and drives the kick out towards forward, looking for Phipps Parsons. Found someone in the crowd instead. So it's going to be out in the full, and the Uni Blues will get it back.
They looked good there before the Blues. They just need to be a little bit cleaner. They would have been away then. But anyway, that's the pressure of the game. Sometimes it's perceived pressure too in the back of your mind.
So Evans to take the kick. He drives it back out towards the wing. Townsend was there. Spralia competed. Woodhouse had it and then got boot to ball. And then quite a strong tackle there was Curran. There'll be another ball up here on the wing. Spralia taps it down the lane. Tries to spear a kick up to Phipps Parsons, who's got it. Closest he's had the footy to goal thus far, Sterling Phipps Parsons, back in the side.
They're going to need a mark here with 31 and a half minutes gone.
11 goals for the season. Phipps Parsons, he won't add to that here. He'll drive it up to centre half forward. Conway was always in best position there, and he takes the intercept mark once more.
So, Team of the Year member at fullback, Nick Conway. Second in the Blues, best and fairest, goes to Gleeson, who won his third straight best and fairest for the Uni Blues, which hadn't happened since the 80s. That was a dangerous kick, but Grimley marks it, then kicks it forward, and they are out. Charlie Cotter can run onto it. The kick just carried him a little bit too far, intercepted by Tregar, and now the Xavs might get the Blues the other way. It's a nicely balanced kick. Marking was done. Kicks to centre half forward. It was meant for Fisher. Evans came across the front, chopped it off, and then gave it away to Churgwin, who's been busy early. He fell over in the process of marking, handled it to Wicks the inclusion. He kicks it straight to Dunn. And it's centre half back for the old Xaverians. So 32 and a half gone, first term.
Timekeeper's got his finger on the button here, boys. Not much left in this one.
Here's Hamish McIsaac at right half back for the Xavs, beneath the scoreboard now with Campbell Lane, of course, formerly of Collingwood VFL. And it will end in Campbell's hands. You're right, Hugo Higginbotham. We were close to the end of the first term, which runs 32 minutes and 40 seconds for Sugar by half, and it leaves us with the Blues 3-2-20, leading the old Xaverians 3 straight 18. A high quality contest here at the Uni Main.
Excellent. excellent contest here. The Blues have come to play today. I mean, we spoke with Matt Smith, their coach, earlier, and he did mention that, season on the line sort of stuff. So they've got a lot to play for. And if you look at their results, I mean, they've been thereabouts. When are we going to see that drop-off? If we're going to see that drop-off that has caused them trouble in the past. And I know they would have done a lot of work to address that, but excellent ball use and really good setup behind the ball too, which is impressive.
Inside the old Xaverians huddle on the other side of this, it's the Blues by 2 points. 2 goals for Sam Grimley, 1 to Charlie Cotter. For the Xavs, singles to Simeopoulos McIsaac. That's Charlie and Nick Garney back after this.
Hey guys, at GYG we never compromise on the quality of our food. That's why we only serve 100% free-range chicken. We're on a mission to reinvent fast food, because who said fast food had to be bad food? Love ya.
Are you looking to grow your business? William Buck are more than just accountants and advisors who can develop strategic growth plans for your business. With over 125 years' experience, William Buck has expertise in navigating through challenging times and has been working closely with the VAFA community, creating positive change for individuals, businesses and community organisations. William Buck's team of specialist advisors work collaboratively, providing you with 360 support. Schedule a complimentary consultation today by visiting williambuck.com.
Tickets are now on sale for the VAFA's 2025 Big V Gala Dinner presented by City Power. It's a landmark event, the largest function the VAFA has ever staged, and it's celebrating 100 years of Big V representative football. This historic evening will serve as the official opening to the Rep Football Weekend, offering a unique opportunity to honour the legacy of the Big V and its enduring significance within the VAFA community. The Big V Gala Dinner will bring together past players, coaches, club representatives and supporters to reflect on a century of tradition, achievement and pride. The evening promises to be one of the most significant in the VAFA's history. You don't want to miss it. It's at Centrepiece at Melbourne Park, Thursday the 10th of July 2025. Tickets now on sale at vafa.com.au.
Footy's at the heart of Victoria, but gambling harm is creeping onto our fields. That's where the Real Stakes steps in. Backed by the Victorian Amateur Football Association, the Real Stakes helps local clubs tackle the risk of online sports betting head on. Get the tools, spark the conversation, and protect what really matters, your mates. Visit realstakes.com.au to find out more.
VAFA action is back for 2025, and you can catch the award-winning VAFA William Buck Premier Men's SEN Match of the Day every Saturday afternoon. Listen to all the VAFA footy action live on the SEN website and SEN app today from 1:45 p.m.
Quarter time at the University Oval. It's the Blues 3-2-20. Old Xaverians 3 straight 18. 2 goals to Sam Grimley and 1 to Charlie Cotter for the Blues, as I mentioned before the break. Singles for the Xavs for Simeopoulos, Charlie McIsaac and Guiney. Around the competition, there are some really interesting results I want to sink my teeth into. Hugo Higginbotham and Matthew Donald, because St Bernard's 1 straight trail Old Scotch 9-3-57 at quarter time at St Bernard's College. We'll have more results in just a few moments. Let's go down now to the huddle, the Old Xaverians huddle. Raj Johnston has his mic in there. Let's listen in to Dan Donati's address.
I think at this level you just don't get on your own terms from the first 5 minutes there. So it's a bit of a grind. I reckon they probably had more of the possession that quarter, and a few of our basic mistakes, a couple of easy turnovers, and we talked about before the game, boys, that they've taken 5 marks inside our 450. Now that's an area that we've just got to get better at, because we're going to have to go long at times. All right, we've got a couple of big blokes down there. I know Moyley got stuck on the bench for like 15 minutes. If you get caught on and off, you get a chance to get off the ground, get off. Yeah, it's very hard to the ground to rotate if the ball's on there the whole time. All right. A couple of good centre clearances, but they took the inset marks, so we've just got to be ready for it. Okay, just keep moving. Laney, work rate huge on that far side. Right? Cut off a couple. Hey, Mish, good early quarter. All right, some nice touches out there. Really good. Dan, really good around the stoppage. All right, good stuff. And I thought Trigg and Dunny, your work rate's back behind the ball were fantastic. Okay, but if we're going to give them easy ball in, I don't care who you're playing on down there, they're going to score on you. All right, they have a couple of big forwards. They can't do everything down there. Easy ball in, it's going to cost us. Pressure on the ball, pressure work rate. Fish, your first 10 minutes was awesome. Then you got a whack in your gob, and he was off for 10 minutes. So it's hard to get on and off the ground. Make sure we just continue to work, support each other. I don't know which way the wind's going, it's kind of irrelevant, but just keep working. Around the source is key. Don't try to be too pretty around and get 2 or 3 handballs. Remember, let's adapt. If it's one and we've got to kick forward, we kick forward. All right, because they've been doing it a lot as well to get the forward, getting grass. All right, let's have a look how we're going to start, boys.
So really good stuff there from Dan Donati. Interesting message there, Hugo Higginbotham, was about their rotations. They need to try and get the ball to the commentary side so they can actually get their guys a rest.
That's such a wide round ground, and it's hard to get the ball back from there. And if you're looking, you've got every player on the opposite side of the ground, so the rotations are virtually impossible. You can get stuck out there for 10 minutes or so. And you notice you spoke about, who was it, Fisher coming off with that smack in the gob, as he so eloquently said.
Yes.
That's a good old 80s stuff. We give him a smack in the gob. But you notice the change in the game when he wasn't out there as well. You know, they gave the Blues a chance to get back on top a little bit because, you know, he's league medalist and amazing player, and his clearance work is excellent. So if they're too good, you smack him in the gob, Paddy.
So Raj Johnston for Kosh Living now has the coach of the Old Xaverians, Dan Donati, beside him. Down to you, Raj.
Thanks, Paddy. I'm with Dan Donati. Dan, heard your address there at quarter time. What needs to change this quarter to get in front?
Oh, look, I thought they were better at the contest, better at the source. We lost the contested possession pretty convincingly. If you get that right, you get the ball forward, you're going to give yourselves a chance. So I thought we just got to get better in the contest.
You spoke about your side sticking together. Can you just elaborate what you mean by that?
Oh, you just want to stay positive, right? Because sometimes if you're behind the scoreboard or wherever it might be, it's a long game, you've got to grind it, stick together, be positive, and hopefully turn around.
All the best, thank you.
Thanks to Raj Johnston and Dan Donati there. Matt Smith holding his Uni Blues for a very long time indeed. They've just broken out of their huddle, and I'm sure the new coach of the Blues this year would be emphasising the importance of continuing on their good work at quarter time. Let's go now around the grounds. That's all thanks to the Avery Melbourne for a proper local with great food, music and the occasional trivia night. We mentioned that it's Old Scotch by 51 points at St Bernard's College over the Snow Dogs. Over at the TH King, it's Old Haileybury 3-5-23 leading St Kevin's 1-8. In fact, 4-5-29 Old Haileybury, so 21-point leaders at quarter time. I'm told by our man Cal Cummins at the ground that they got a double 50-metre penalty and a goal after the siren to the Bloods, which helped cap off that quarter. Elsewhere, it's D-Lar by 10 points over the University Blacks at Waverley Oval. Old Brighton 46 leading Collegians 12 at the Harry Trott, so 34-point lead there for the latter leading Tunners. Anything stand out to you outside of the Cards' big start there, Hugo?
Oh, if you're going to give away 50, why not give away 2? You're already in trouble with the coach, so just make it worthwhile. Give him a little bit of ammunition. But the D-Lar one's interesting too. It's good to see them up and about. I know they had a good week on the track, and they've had some good results.
They've been getting closer and closer, Nick Hyland's team. So the second quarter ahead, all for Hacer, your trusted pair of hands dedicated to servicing your needs at every stage of a project, from planning through construction to completion. Here's Matthew Donald.
Blues with a 2-point advantage as we start the second term here. It's going to be Spralia who gets the tap down against Carrington. It comes out to Fisher, who's back on the ground after that smack in the gob. Kicks up to Westcott and takes a strong mark on the chest here at half forward. Runners cruising past. He ignores them. Instead, he's going to drive the ball deep inside, attacking 50 Westcott. The target's McIsaac. That's a really good grab, Hugo. You're spot on. He extended the arms fully and took it over the top of his head. He'll line up for an opportunity to goal here.
Yeah, that was a seriously good grab. That was it. There was 3 Blues players around that, and he just coasted through, floated in, and really strong hands. So that's what you want to see from your forwards. If the ball's coming in like that, long and high, you're going to need to take some big grabs.
Charlie McIsaac's got a punch shot for kicking goals. He's got 13 this season. 13-11. Didn't find the target last week. Dream start coming up for the Xavs. If he can convert here, he's pushed it across the face of goal. This one's wide, a minor score. Xavs' first blemish of the day, and on that second quarter scoreboard for Hacer, it's 3-1-19. The Xavs, they trail the Uni Blues 3-2-20.
So I thought it was going to be O'Shea doing the kick out, but he's thrown it straight to his skipper, Marty Gleeson. And Marty is going to drive this as far as he can in the Grimley direction, who was in a one-on-one. It fell a little bit short of that contest. Goddard got through with the handball. It was ill-directed, taken away by Guiney of the Old Xaverians, who has Lane on the outside. LaCava riding shotgun of the Blues, who was able to pressure that moment. Now Crocker with it at ground level, taps it to his own advantage. This isn't clean. Guiney dribbles a kick back inside 50 for the Old Xaverians. Dykes and Gleeson working there for the Blues, and they will rebound through LaCava. Skims a kick down the far wing. There's Townsend again. The leading contested marker in the Ammos, showing us his chops today, goes in the Goddard direction, but that's picked off by the Old Xaverians backline, and now they'll move it through Ralph. Broadcast side, Phipps Parsons in a paddock. Centre wing, kicks it short. McIsaac takes the mark, not McIsaac, sorry, that was Westcott, who took it on his chest, gave it back to Phipps Parsons, who runs to half forward, drives the kick deep, it'll go over the head of Taylor. Charlie McIsaac is there, and he collars Taylor. Got him around the back of the scone.
No subtlety in that play.
Free kick naturally going the way of Mitch Taylor from the last line for the Blues.
Certainly made him earn it.
He somehow is up on his feet, Taylor. He chips it short and finds a teammate. He'll be feeling that one for a little bit.
Wearing his eyebrows on his chin.
Crocker goes up the line. No, look to continue the play here. So here's O'Shea cruising alongside. Drives a kick up towards Stewart, who was held by Hart. It's gone against Stewart. Oh, he's not happy about that.
That was interesting. Well, they're both wrestling, they're both grappling, and that's what Hart's going to try and do.
Yeah, Hart is not complaining, meanwhile. He's happy to take the free kick and send it back up towards the wing for the Xavs. Playing in front, Evans. That's potential for a real ankle breaker. Full-on volley. Stavro, in the meantime, has won it back, and he clips it up towards the wing to Lane, who wants to come back inboard to Fisher. And Lane goes down to tie up his shoelaces there for a minute. Fisher comes back inboard to McRae, and they're looking to bring it out this commentary side again. No complaints about that here in this position. Knott's got it now at half-back in a bit of space. Could have run, but instead chooses to go long. And instead, reading it well, the best position was Gleeson. He was dealt with by Phipps Parsons. I'm not sure the umpires paid the mark or the free kick, but Gleeson's got it at half-back regardless for the Blues.
He still looks a little bit proppy, does the skipper of the Uni Blues. Marty kicks it down the wing. Nice kick to Churgwin, first year at the Blues. St Mary's and the Sandy Dragons. He's considered by some unlucky not to be drafted in his top age year. Goes across now, here's Bain. On the left foot, drives it deep inside 50. It skips loose. Jez Goddard taps it on off the ground. Jez Goddard! He puts it through. And the Blues have 4. And the first of the second quarter. 4-2-26 for Haysa. They lead Old Xaverians 3-1-19. 7 points the advantage. 4 minutes gone. Hugo Higginbotham.
Well, it was an excellent piece of roving goal there. I mean, we talk about the big boys down there, but they've got some very talented smalls down there as well. Got some amazing execution there. Was inspired by Matty's boys, the Tottenham, this week with a bit of soccer skills there.
Yes, absolutely.
But Marty Gleeson, every time he's involved with something in the back half of the ground, he doesn't make a mistake, does he? And it'd be like having another coach out there. You can see him, he's always directing the troops, telling each other what's going on, where they need to be, and you can't buy in experience.
Goddard with his first goal of the season. It's Carrington who's grabbed it out of the ruck and boots up towards half forward. Curran was the target, knocked away from him. LaCava's got to contend with Lane's. A good tackle from the Xavs skipper, and he's not rewarded, though. The umpire says we'll have a ball up on the wing.
It's been a bit quiet out there, Lane, hasn't he? I think they might have a bit of a run with him. It's not giving him any time and space.
Be a big responsibility for whoever's got the job on him. He's found the footy with ease so far throughout 2025. Between half-back and on the wing for the Xavs. Tossed up, Carrington was there, gathered by Ralph. Tapped it to his own advantage neatly and then kicked it up towards half-forward. Bouncing ball over the back. Phipps Parsons had it, lost it. Now he's got to get it again. He was worried out of it by O'Shea. Conway hacks it out of there. Although it's come back here to Nott, who straightens, kicks to full forward. And McIsaac playing in front. Easy mark for him. He should be able to make do with, he should be able to put it through this time, though.
Well, they did well there, Xavs. A few little mistakes, and were able to tidy that up a little bit. And I was very impressed with that shorter entry to a leading forward, because it would have been too easy just to have a shot on goal. Probably a little bit too hard an angle and too far. At least now we've got a good shot from what we're talking 20 metres out. Bread and butter for the young lad.
It was Wes Scott, my apologies, whose only goal for the season so far came last week. Can he make it 2-2? We're right behind it. He splits the middle. Needed for the Xavs, their first of the second term, and they draw the margin back to 1 point here at University Oval on the second quarter scoreboard for Haysa. 4-1-25, the Xavs, they still trail the Uni Blues. 4-2-26. We've just ticked over 6 minutes gone here in the second term.
No one willing to give in here at the moment. It's a really great contest. The ball's moving from end to end. It's just a little momentum swing here and there, and it can just be one little thing as well. Like get an errant hand on a ball, move it your way, tackle, smother. We're seeing some really good contested ball, like that clearance before. Fair enough, the execution wasn't great, but getting the ball forward, there's an opportunity. Bit of chaos here and there never hurts.
So a good game of footy on the VAFA website and on the SEN app. Saturday afternoon footy coming to you from the Uni Main. It's the Blues to centre half forward. It'll skip for Townsend, who picked it up, turns on a dime to the edge of the centre square. His kick inside 50, wasn't much chop. It goes into a mess of players. Coming through Stewart, tried to derobe himself of Simeopoulos, did so well, gave it to Churgwin on the outside, who dobs it! Instant reply from the Uni Blues. And after a slow start to this second term, we've had 3 goals in 4 minutes. And Churgwin puts the Blues 5-2-32, 7 points ahead of the Old Xaverians, 4-1-25 for Haysa.
Well, great execution on goal there, but that was probably set up by Townsend there. I really like the look of this guy. I know, Paddy, you've branded him as yours, but we might have to share him because I'm going to get around him all day too. Very hard player to play on because he can play small and tall. He can leap for the ball and everything, and then you just see the strength of Stewart coming through there.
So, Hugo, I've got one of the great structural debates recently with the forward line. I might get to that in a minute, actually, as we're back in the middle. Spralia tapped it straight down to Simeopoulos. Good tackle by Crocker. And we'll get another ball up. Right in the centre of the ground here. Been a good game, this one so far. Goal for goal so far. Churgwin may have been held there, and he'll get the free kick in the centre of the ground. Look to go on the right boot and drive it long. Dalso inside attacking 50. McKaiser got the spoil away, gathered by Dunn. He's caught by Cotter. Might have been pushed in the back, and that's how the umpire saw it as well. Free kick going the way of the Xavs. To be taken at half back by Dunn, who spears it up to the wing. Westcott, good hands, takes the mark out in front. Wants to bring the kick in. Ball to Austell's knocked away from him. Curran, Rogan kicks it to Stewart in front, and he's paid the mark. And he'll line up 25 metres out, barely an angle to speak of. An opportunity for him to add his name to the scoreboard.
Geez, he nearly popped that ball in, Stewart, when he grabbed it, didn't he? Those big mitches slapped it that hard. But look, my favourite kick is that inside 45 from half-back, because when they come off, they're really, really good. When they don't, you get your turnover, and it's a turnover in a dangerous spot. So now we're seeing their shot on goal.
So had an opportunity in the first term from a tougher angle and from much further out, James Stewart. He got the distance all right, but hooked it. So don't think he'll have any issues with the distance here. He's a bit of fiddle around with where he's approaching from. The umpires told him to straighten up a couple of times. James Stewart, 14-5 for the season, or 14-6 for the season, rather. Comes in here on the right boot, puts it through. No mistake there for the Uni Blues leading scorer. That's 15 for him, and they've strung a couple to get to the Blues. 7-2-44 they now lead on the Hazer scoreboard. Xaverians 4-1-25. Hugo, the question I wanted to get back to you a little earlier, one of the great structural debates in recent seasons is the idea of the forward setup, 2 talls or 3. Where do you lean on that side of the debate?
I prefer 3 talls. We'll play generally in a triangle type fashion, 1 high, 1 sort of middle, 1 deep, and then you have your smalls around that.
For the last 5 goals for the University Blues, 6-2-38 leading the Old Xaverians 4-1-25, 13 points the advantage. Ball up again in the centre of the ground. And just notice Hamish McIsaac coming off under the blood rule while Stewart was taking his shot. Looked to have a little bit of blood around the mouth, so hopefully nothing too serious for him as Churgwin is taken high.
He's getting busy, Churgwin, isn't he? He's been in everything recently.
Yeah, he's got a handball option as well. It's Youngins, formerly of the Kyneton Tigers, who goes in the Townsend direction. He was 3 deep, couldn't get near the footy in the end. And it's going to be rebounded quickly by the Xavs. That's not a great exiting kick, though. Dyke's waiting for it. Broadcast wing. Sets it up for Townsend again. He got underneath it, a touch to Townsend. A free kick for a block. It's going the way of the Xavs. Probably against Grimley from behind, going the way of Alex Tregar. And he is quick to move it beyond the arc of 50 to Fisher. So the former Woodrow medalist, 45 metres out from his own goal. Spreads it real wide. Nick Conway for the Blues with a big fist. Gleeson is there. Has O'Shea as well. That's been the triplet of the intercepting core for the Uni Blues. It's been dominant this year. Pinion around by hand. O'Shea still at half-back with Gleeson, whose kick was smothered. They mucked around with it. O'Shea has to go again. His 3rd or 4th possession in that chain, and it results in him being tackled to the ground by Charlie Knott, and will have a stoppage 60 metres from the Old Xaverians goal.
And another thing about that, Paddy, there was just too many handballs backwards, so you're losing ground, you're losing momentum, so it gives the defenders a chance to come in and get the spoil, and every time there's an extra handball, you're closer to a mistake.
Churgwin out to LaCava on the right boot. Trigar playing in front. No free kick or mark. They thought he might have got something. Woodhouse had a bit of a fumble. Townsend pursuing him and back towards the boundary line, and it's gone out of play. Lane couldn't control it, and it'll be a throw in, centre wing far side.
So Hugo and Matthew, we spoke to Matt Smith during the week about the University Blues forward line and how it would seem to be struggling to gel despite the personnel. It looks to have really clicked today so far.
Yeah, they're working well down there together. They're probably getting a little bit more separation than they were earlier as well. And, I like the 3 talls, 3 smalls mix, Matty.
Spralia front spot, although it's been sharked by Youngins, who drives it inside, attacking 50. Stewart's there, just eluded him. He tracks the ball to the boundary line, but it goes over and will get a throw in.
Really deep entries as well, Hugo, which is isolating James Stewart.
Yeah, well, you've got that tool there. We might as well use it. But they're those deep entries because they are using that handball through the middle of the ground as well. A little bit of run and carry. but yeah, always in a dangerous spot.
So Stewart's going to do the rucking inside forward 50 here for the Blues. Spralia front spot, taps it down. And we'll get another stoppage here. Time was Lane who was caught in the tackle straight away. Stewart taps it down, grabs out of the ruck, snaps towards goal, slews off the outside of the boot. Tuddenham's there, he's caught, just about got the hand pass away. And it comes over the top, it's still in dispute here. Dunn's got to go in and get it, and then find a target outside of defensive 50, looking for Phipps Parsons. Although it was good work there from Bain, good pressure, and it's held things up here for the Blues. And we'll get a stoppage between wing and half forward for them on this commentary side.
It's the last man up there, Ned Evans, the inclusion. Brought into the team after some strong reserves form for the Uni Blues. Carrington in the ruck against Spralia. Simeopoulos for the Xavs on the left. Drives it towards half forward. Gleeson's got two Xaverians to deal with. Got a fist to it regardless. At ground level, he'll be helped out as Lord arrived on the scene. He's got Bain with him. They'll all scrap over it. Gleeson will go and tackle Fisher. And the umpire will come in to throw it up right in front of us. Attacking side of the wing for the old Xaverians.
Not a lot of time and space around the ball out there. That's a hot pill. You've got to put your head over it and you've got to grab it.
Gleeson's still looking really poppy there.
13 and a half gone. It's the Blues by 13 points at the Uni Main. We're going nowhere from the resumption. Fisher and Youngans battling against each other. Grimley into the ruck against Spralia. Big year last year for Alex Spralia. Won the Old Xaverians best and fairest despite Sam Fisher winning the Woodrow medal. Here's the Uni Blues into the hands of Jack Whitehead, who drives it to a one-on-one. That will favour Carrington, who was isolated on the smaller man in Jack Whitehead. That's of the Old Xaverians. Two Jack Whiteheads out there today, one for each team. Carrington to the top of the square. It carries Stewart. It'll dribble out of play in front of LaCava as he went herring after it in the right forward pocket.
So Blues have made that change. They put Grimley back into the ruck again, and so Carrington's gone forward. He's a strong player, Carrington.
He is.
So Carrington's going, by the looks of things, to full forward, and then Sam Grimley's behind the ball as it stands in the right forward pocket. So they're down to their third ruckman for this one. It's Stewart who will go up against Alex Spralia for the Blues. They're back into play. Stewart did pretty well. Tapped it into the forward pocket. Lane first to it for the Old Xaverians. Turns onto his left. Dangerous kick back into traffic. And it might have been pulled down there by the Blue in Crocker in the right forward pocket. Lane kicked blindly, and it was a kick of only 18, 19 metres. Now that will result in Crocker having a shot deep in the right forward pocket.
That's what I was talking about before. Campbell Lane not getting any time and space. That was just a rush kick. He's used to having that little burst of speed and getting away from the contest and being able to kick clearly. But that one was just a rush, get it away from me, purely because Blues are doing a great job on him.
So his second game of the season, Crocker, two-time premiership player for Sturt in 2016 and 2017. Retired in 2021, arrived at the Blues for 2022. This will be a tough kick on his right. On approach, has looked to have left it a touch skinny and narrow, and misses to the right-hand side. The Blues to 6-3-39. The Old Xaverians to 4-1-25 for Haser. 14-point lead for the home squad.
So Woodhouse is going to bring the ball back into play now for the Xavs. 14 tackles for Crocker last week. Had to double check that when I saw that. It's a terrific effort. Woodhouse brings it back out. Townsend came in from the side. How about the leap on him? Gets a handball out to Grimley on the right boot. Hooks it inside, attacking 50. Almost taking the mark there was Goddard. Slipped out of his grasp for the last. And then a high kick up towards the wing. Goes over the head of Phipps Parsons. Blues have the numbers tracking back towards the defensive goal. Not a good hand pass though. Oh, that was a strong tackle though there by Lord. Did really well to hold things up. And there's a bit of afters as well. LaCava's in there as well as Lord. The play restarts pretty quickly. Tuddenham was in the wrestle as well. LaCava gets hands to the football now. Gets it out to Youngers. High kick into the centre of the ground. He's going to take a good mark. Townsend's there. He's as likely as anyone. Brought it to ground. It's come over the back now. Got up with a hand pass away. Taken by Evans. Great chase by Rout. The kick goes inside of tagging 50. Cotter tried to flick it on. Couldn't do so successfully. Goddard's in there again, but he's caught. Good defensive pressure there from the Xavs. And we'll get a ball up inside attacking 50 here for the Blues.
Yeah, Ned Evans really saw at centre half forward, a trainer out to him. He's trying to jog out what looked to be a cork to the knee as Stavru is wrapped up by Ben Townsend.
He was running away from the trainer. I don't want to come to the bench. I'm good.
He's not moving too quickly though, is Ned Evans, so Raj Johnston will have his eye on that one for Authorsport Victoria. Meanwhile, Carrington out of the ruck on the right peg, snapped around the body and missed to the right hand side. And the Blues doing it by behind. 6-4-40, they lead the Old Xaverians 4-1-25. 17 minutes gone in the second term for Haser. Around the grounds for the Aviary of Melbourne, it's still Old Scotch now by 62 points over St Bernard's at St Bernard's College. 70, Matthew Donald playing 8.
It's One-way traffic over there. It's much more even here. Dyke's coming over the top with a big spoil. And then LaCava going in to apply some pressure, although the Xavs will work it out. Simeopoulos found a bit of space, took the mark and gets the hand pass across to Fisher. And then one more in the middle of the ground to Ralph, who looks to try and hit up a lead. And Moyle's got it now on the wing. He kept running Simeopoulos. This is good overlap from the Xavs. Simeopoulos drives inside, attacking 50. It's a one-on-one. Phipps Parsons was there. It comes to Austin. Now it's Lane who's drifted forward. He's caught in a tackle by Lord. It's still in dispute. Lane kept it in play, snapped it around the body, and it won't count because the umpire signalled out of bounds. The boundary throw it inside the forward pocket for the Xavs.
Good bit of surge footy there from the Xavs because Blues had played a lot of front half footy this quarter, so they need to get something here, the Xavs.
Got it in a good spot. It's deep inside their attacking 50. That was slick transition play. Almost manufactured a score out of it. Toss back into play. Moyle and Grimley. Moyle got the tap down. It's come out to Bresnahan, who was caught in a tackle. And we'll get another stoppage. It's a 15-point lead to the hosts, the Uni Blues, here in the second term scoreboard for Haysa. 18 and a half minutes gone. Grimley thumps it out of there. Anywhere will do. It's landed fortuitously for Evans, who runs his full measure. He's looking all right now. Drives up towards the wing. It's not a great kick. It doesn't advantage his teammate there, Carrington, at all. And Knott's happy to just, or Whitehead rather, is happy to just see it over the line for a throw-in, centering far side.
That's not bad for the Blues there because there was a deep in Xavs zone goal-kicking area and they had nothing forward to the ball there, so this is a bit of a win. We're back up on the wing, bit of a 50-50 contest.
On Community TV, it's Old Haileybury 4-6-30 leading St Kevin's 3-3-21 at Waverley Oval. D-Lar 26 trailing the University Blacks 29 as we'll have a secondary stoppage. Far side wing. City views here from the pavilion at the Uni Main.
Lovely view.
And it'll be a third stoppage in succession. So both squads just taking a bit of a breather as we approach time on for this second term, all thanks to Haysa. Let's see if Stavrou can get this ball clear. No, sir. It's Crocker again, the tackling machine, Matthew Donald, who lays him to the deck.
He certainly knows how to apply them. So Carrington with the tap down. He might have got a free, might have been held in the rack contest, and the umpire agrees, so he pays the free kick to the big Blues ruckman. The number 39. High kick up towards half forward. Don't know what Townsend was doing there. He misjudged the flight of that one completely, and it's knocked away from him out of play and a boundary throw in.
I think he was setting himself to fly and he just slipped over. We'll let him get away with that one.
He's allowed one. He's been very good today, Townsend. An excellent foil for the likes of Stewart and Grimley. He certainly doesn't have the size, but he lacks in size. He makes up for it in his aerial leap. Carrington got the tap down. Back out, but it was Taylor, but Phipps Parsons applies the tackle on Youngins and it's gone a couple of metres closer to the old Xavs goal. We'll have another ball up here. Woodhouse taking a turn to the ruck. Carrington's using that to his advantage, though grabs this one out of the ruck and promptly kicks it towards the line. I think it's just bounced inside the field of play, so we'll get a boundary throw it instead.
The other results around the competition at this early stage of Saturday afternoon footy: Old Brighton 8-6-54 leading Collegians 4-4-28. And so D-Lark trailing by 2 points, Old Haileybury by 9 points, Old Scotch by 68 points, and Old Brighton by 26 points, second term in all those contests.
And that's around the grounds for the Avery. And I tell you what, great food, music, and the occasional raucous trivia night sounds like the place to be any night of the week.
Do we need to check in on Joey, that result? He'd be furious about that.
I'll tell you what, if the Xaverians get up today and St Bernard's get done by 11 goals, he best turn his phone off, I reckon, our man Joey Pignataro. It'll be running red hot at the moment. Free kick to the Uni Blues on the outer side.
Crocker got the hand pass from Carrington to Stewart again, who got separation from Hart. He takes the mark. Just keep an eye on Hamish Youngins then, who was holding his head for a while in that previous contest. Stewart plays on, wheels on the left boot, goes to Grimley. He got under the ball. Whitehead knocked it away from him. The hand pass comes out. It's now at full forward. Baines there. He couldn't quite go it cleanly. Goddard going in as well. And another stoppage and a ball up just 15 metres out from the Blues goals. Paddy Grindlay.
So 6-4-40 the University Blues, 4-1-25 Old Xaverians, approaching 22 minutes gone in the second term, all thanks to Haysa, deep inside attacking territory for the Blues. Stewart doing the forward half ruck work, Phipps Parsons clearing the zone for the Xavs. Austin was a big leaper for the red and black. They'll try and get out commentary side. Gleeson tries to intercede, gets his body against the footy. Jez Goddard's kick inside 50 was smothered. Attempted kick inside 50, I should say. O'Shea now next to us. Probably took a Xaverian without the ball, the umpire agrees. So Austin was impeded. Been busy today, has Xavier Austin. former Bendigo pioneer out of Sandhurst, running around in the number 32. In the 6th game of the season. Zavs down by 15 points. Both squads coming off the losses. Well, McRae was looking to kick it down the wing. He slipped over at the critical moment, and now they'll be lucky to take the ball out. Things got pretty awkward, and they're certainly letting him know about it. Archie Lord's got some confidence, ran some 30 metres to let Tommy McRae know exactly what he thought of his effort. And meanwhile, there's an issue with Jez Goddard. The play might just be held here because he looks very proppy, Matthew.
He doesn't look good at all, and he doesn't want to go through the interchange gates, but they're forcing him to. No, he's in a lot of trouble at the moment then, Jez Goddard. Ball tossed back into the field of play, knocked back towards the boundary line. Going to get there was O'Shea, who kept the ball in play. Although it's all Zavs with the numbers here. McRae, he kept his feet that time. He drives the kick up towards the wing, but this time it's been turned over, and the crowd give it to him once more.
Bit of friendly advice there, but that's a great setup behind the ball by the Blues, giving Zavs absolutely nothing.
So Lord to Crock up. Now tackling Tyro. No short to Wicks. Got it in the centre of the ground, the number 27. He's going to try and fan out towards half forward to Stewart again, who tried to take it on the chest. Was knocked away from him by Hart. Ralph gets it from Lane, gives it back to Lane. And then one more over the top again. Just about out here. Fisher in a bit of space now. On the left boot. Up towards half forward, looking for Stavro. He didn't go for the mark. Crocker tries to slap it back away from goal. Stavro's got it once again. Tries to take on Shergwin. Just about got the hand pass away. One more kick of their inside 50. They do find Simeopoulos inside attacking 50. Wheels and goes. Short kick into the pocket. It's gone over the head there of Knott, who gets the hand pass back to Simeopoulos, and he couldn't keep it in play. It's gone out of bounds for a throw in.
They're lucky there, the Blues, Matthew and Hugo, because Wade Brosnahan was out the top of the goal square for a good 10-15 seconds.
See, that's the pressure that's out there at the moment, and it's probably the pressure in Zavs' head. They're looking at the scoreboard going behind. We've had half the amount of scoring shots, trying to make something out of nothing, and just getting really ball focused.
Raj Johnston has just checked out what's going on with Jez Goddard for Autosport Victoria. Down to him in a moment. Meanwhile, the wild snap on goal for the old Xaverians went close, but missed ultimately. So out of the pack, didn't quite pick up who that was, but there was an early celebration going on, and then Marty Gleeson let the player know about what you get if you do celebrate early. 14-point lead for the Uni Blues, down to Raj Johnston on the boundary.
Yeah, Paddy, Jez Goddard wasn't in a great way. He came off to the bench, but does have a smile on his face now and has been communicating with both the coaches and the trainers, so we'll see what happens there and keep you updated.
Thank you, Raj, for Kosh Living, our boundary rider. Meanwhile, it's the Uni Blues who go inside 50. It's a shallow entry. Ralph cuts it down. He's got Curran for company, spirals it down the far wing. Stewart in the pack, it went over his head. Churgwin is there. The Blues come away. It's been their footy today so far. Wicks from the centre square. Drives it to a 1-on-1 inside 50. Playing from behind was Curran on Hart. Curran will try and get this ball out of play. The Zavs keep it in. Hart, they'll work it out by hand. Involved in the chain there was Tregar, and that's a shocking exiting kick. It's been cut down again. That might be Crocker on the far side, who's taken his second intercepting mark inside 50 of the quarter, and from right half forward 48 metres out can have a look at the goals.
Just look back where the congestion came from and kicked it back where it didn't need to go. You've got to open the ground up a little bit, get it away from that congestion, even if you kick it to advantage of one of your players.
So it's a prop-up kick. Stavro is there. Stewart!
Jeez, he's trying.
They look for him, the Uni Blues, every time they go inside 50. And James Stewart, who has been pretty dominant, you'd have to say, in this first half of footy, can go back for a chance at his second of the quarter.
Yeah, well, it's not really a 50-50 ball when you kick it on his head, is it? He's either going to mark it or it's going to come to ground, and then it's when the smalls can come in. But that's the turnover I was talking about, Paddy. I'm getting frustrated from the old coaching days when you've got an open side of the ground, kick it to advantage, get it away from the congestion.
30 metres out, directly in front. Stewart for his second consecutive goal, splits the middle, no issues. He's giving the little kids behind the goals marking practice at the Swanston Street end of Melbourne University Oval. It's the Blues 7-4-46, leading the old Xaverians 4-2-26. They lead by 20 points, largest lead of the day so far for Haser.
Well, pressure equals turnovers, and then we saw that exactly then. But we spoke with Matt Smith, and he was concerned about the cohesion of that forward line. Well, that forward line is humming down there. It is absolutely humming. Whatever they did at training this week has worked. And maybe it's just a bit of time together on the field. But excellent ball use there.
And they're a goal away, Hugo, from their best first half of 2025.
Stavrou got the falcon there from the Carrington kick, and it's bounced 15 metres back towards the Xavs guy. That's how hard he hit it. Comes out wide, this broadcast side. It works here for Cotter, who's got it on his birthday. On the left, moving towards Stewart once more. It's the second time Stewart's given away a free kick this term. He's taking this one a little better. I don't think he's happy either way. They get about 6 now for work for the umpires. The Xavs have it now through Fisher. They're just chipping it around in defence, and Fisher takes 2 steps and then bounces it up towards the wing. Good mark taken there by Simeopoulos, and then another kick out towards Phipps Parsons in a bit of space at half forward. This is the kick though. Phipps Parsons delivers it to Bresnahan, who's marked it at centre half forward, and he is looking like he's going to go back and have a shot. There's a blood rule, so he won't be able to pass it off anyway. We'll have to wait.
It's about the 4th blood rule for the day, boys.
Yeah, it's been a bruising encounter, this one, at University Oval. It's been a good game, a 20-point lead to the Blues, deep into time on here. We've just ticked over 28 minutes gone now.
So it's Archie Law with some blood coming out of the knee. So just a little bit of claret for him. Hopefully he'll be back on soon.
Probably means that Bresnahan's got to have a go here, because all the space has been clogged up since the time it took for the blood rule change to take place. He did kick 3 last week though, Wade Bresnahan. 10 goals, 5 for the season, so he certainly knows how to put it through the big sticks. The question here will be the distance. He'll be kicking from just outside 50. If he does choose to pull the trigger, he does look like he's going to go for goal, Wade Bresnahan. This is a must-kick goal for the Xavs. They really need one. He drives it from outside 50. It's a mongrel old punt. They've got pretty close to the line in any case. Lane's there now, and then he's tackled over the line. He didn't put the ball down for a try. The umpire signaled for a minor score. 1 behind, 4-3-27 Old Xavs. Uni Blues 7-4-46. 29 gone in this second term for Hisa.
That was a win for the Blues there. Ball's back in their hands. We're into red time here. See the timekeeper's got his finger on the button again soon. But they're using that ball really well.
So Wicks from the left back pocket. Just next to the, I assume now condemned grandstand here at the Uni Main. Ben Townsend with Tregar. And Townsend pushes Tregar out of play, and perhaps a little bit of treatment into the fence as well there. For Alex, no harm done. He's back to his feet. So it'll be thrown in right in front of the old Xaverians bench. 60 metres from their goal at the Royal Parade end of the University Oval. It's a shallow throw in. Spralia reached up ahead of Carrington, tried to get it to his bootlaces. Guiney will get there first for the old Xaverians. Lane at centre half forward, didn't think of the goals, was unselfish, and he gave it to Fisher, or Phipps Parsons rather, who marked under O'Shea pressure. He's 45 metres out from goal, slight angle, and should be able to put this one through.
It'll take a good kick. This is the second one they've had from this sort of area. They seem to be focusing on a shallower entry. I don't know why. They had players down there, but no players even looking deep into the goal square. This is a hard kick.
So Phipps Parsons turned 22 earlier this month out of the Hawthorn Citizens and the Barondera Hawks. Played for Sturt Reserves a couple of years ago, and this year on Carlton's VFL list. Couple of games there, he's back playing his local footy. So this kick coming after the siren then. We'll have to make all the 45 metres. Slight angle for Sterling Phipps Parsons for just their second goal of the second term after Westcott put one through at the 6-minute mark. He's on the runway now. He crosses the pain of 50. The margin as it stands is 19 points. He cuts it down to 13. The goal umpire rooted in place. Watch that one sail over the hat. And Sterling Phipps Parsons gives the Xavs a bit of a kick in the pants as they head into half-time. They're 5-3-33, trailing the University Blues 7-4-46. It's the Blues by 13 points at half-time. Hugo Higginbotham, who have you liked?
Well, Churgan was very good in that quarter. He was getting involved, and he was a real key driver of all those forward entries they have. And, Stewart's just amazing down there. He's so hard to play on. He's probably been unlucky with a couple of those free kicks. I just noticed then, Tregar's been very good for Xavs as well. He's had a fair bit to look at it. And also, too, you're seeing some really good experienced players. Campbell Lane's got himself back into it. But that was, Phipps Parsons, if you ever got to kick a goal, they needed one before to go against the trend before half-time, keep them, 2 and a bit goals away from the opposition, and that's a very important kick. Could be match defining, Paddy. when you break it all down.
So the goal scorers for the Blues, goal kickers rather, Stewart with 2, Grimley with 2, so the big boys up front, and then Goddard and Churgwin all with singles for the Xavs. All singles. Fitzparsons just then after the half-time siren. Westcott, Guiney, Charlie McIsaac and Dennis Simiopoulos who kicked the first goal of the day at the University Main. A break, and on the other side of this, our half-time show. And it's a bit of a ripper. I'm quite looking forward to this one. All thanks to Next Gen Electrical. We've got Blues President Andrew Lowcock and Old Xaverians President Matt Cosgrove. More after this.
VAFA action is back for 2025, and you can catch the award-winning VAFA William Buck Premier Men's SEN Match of the Day every Saturday afternoon. Listen to all the VAFA footy action live on the SEN website and SEN app today from 1:45pm.
Are you looking to grow your business? William Buck are more than just accountants and advisors who can develop strategic growth plans for your business. With over 125 years' experience, William Buck has expertise in navigating through challenging times and has been working closely with the VAFA community, creating positive change for individuals, businesses and community organisations. William Buck's team of specialist advisors work collaboratively, providing you with 360 support. Schedule a complimentary consultation today by visiting williambuck.com.
Hey guys, at GYG we never compromise on the quality of our food. That's why we only serve 100% free-range chicken. We're on a mission to reinvent fast food, because who said fast food had to be bad food? Love ya.
The Anytime Fitness VAFA Rising Star Award recognises the competition's most talented young players. Each week, the VAFA Rising Star Committee receives nominations for one male and one female player, aged 20 years or under, who played no more than 7 senior games before this season. Our overall season winners will be declared the Anytime Fitness VAFA Rising Stars for 2025. So, if your club has a young gun making their mark, nominate them now at media@vafa.com.au.
Footy's at the heart of Victoria, but gambling harm is creeping onto our fields. That's where the Real Stakes steps in. Backed by the Victorian Amateur Football Association, the Real Stakes helps local clubs tackle the risk of online sports betting head on. Get the tools, spark the conversation, and protect what really matters, your mates. Visit realstakes.com.au to find out more.
Is your club celebrating a player milestone? Let us know at VAFA Media and we'll feature it in the Amateur Footballer. We're always on the lookout for stories that acknowledge outstanding achievements and the clubs behind them. Email us at media@vafa.com.au.
VAFA action is back for 2025, and you can catch the award-winning VAFA William Buck Premier Men's SEN Match of the Day every Saturday afternoon. Listen to all the VAFA footy action live on the SEN website and SEN app today from 1:45pm.
Half-time at the University Oval, it's the Blues 7-4-46, leading the Xavs to the long break 5-3-33, all thanks to Next Gen Electrical, our half-time show sponsor. The focus is on delivering renewable energy solutions such as solar farms, commercial, rooftop solar and microgrids. Let's briefly go around the grounds thanks to the Avery Melbourne. There's some interesting results across the competition. We'll start with the one that's least close, I suppose. Old Scotch 13-7-85, leading St Bernard's at halftime 2-4-16. So that's a mighty showing from Old Scotch, who've had a really difficult few weeks. I think I saw James Tarrant's name on the team list, and there's always good things that happen to the red, yellow and blue when James Tarrant plays. So a 69-point lead for the Cards. Elsewhere, Old Haileybury 5-7-37, leading St Kevin's 4-5-29 at the TH King. The Bloods, as we mentioned in the pre-game, have never won a senior men's game at the TH King. So a bit of history in the waiting perhaps for Daniel Ward if he can keep up that effort. The University Black 6-5-41 lead D-Last 4-3-27 at Waverley at half-time. Collegians 4-4-28, trailing Old Brighton 9-8-62 at the Harry Trott at the long break. Half-time, all thanks to Next Gen Electrical. It's the Blues by 13 points. And we've got Matt Cosgrove, the president of the Old Xaverians, in the commentary box, or vestibule, as you mentioned earlier, Hugo Higginbotham with us. Hello to you, Matty.
G'day, Paddy. How are you?
Pretty good. Let's start with this game of footy. It's been pretty entertaining, but it's not probably gone the way of the Red and Blacks' persuasion.
No, I was just saying it's a little bit of a hard watch for an Old Xavs supporter, but look, they're playing some pretty good footy, Uni. Their big boys are getting their hands on the footy, which I think that's the key to their game. So we've got a bit of work to do in the second half, but it was nice to get that one there on the side.
Now, there's a significantly large function going on behind us. I've seen AFL CEO Andrew Dillon walking in and out, and I believe that's all part of the Carmody Cup. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I think this is the 4th year Uni Blues and Old Xavs have played for the Carmody Cup, so that's honouring John Carmody and the Carmody family. John played in our 1981 premiership, was also involved as a chairman of selectors back in when Matt Hanbury was coaching in 1993, and then came and spent a lot of time played at Uni Blues as well. And Daniel, his son, who sadly passed away when he was 34 years old, he was captain of Xavier, and then I played a lot of footy here. So there's a great connection between the Carmody family and both footy clubs.
How did you get the cup started? It's, as you mentioned, 4 years old. What was the conversations like when you got it away?
I think Quilly was a big advocate for it and really got it going. So as I said, the Carmody family's been great contributors to both clubs, and it's a natural thing for us to do.
So the whole function today, how's it run? Who's speaking? How will it continue through the second half? It looks to be pretty well populated.
Well, there's Aces show in there today. I think they had probably 50 or 60 in there for lunch, and John got up and spoke, and it was great to hear some of his thoughts and his memories of the footy club and his time at both footy clubs.
Yeah, nice. Just with the side today, we love a debutant. So Hamish McIsaac, young fella coming in. What can you tell us about him?
Oh, he's come through the school, played under 19s, played 23s. I think he's played in 4 flags in a row for his last 4 years. So, and one in the reserves last year. So, good little halfback, gets his opportunity today. He's been playing some really good footy in the reserves, and he's getting a kick out there today.
Yeah, excellent. And the 19s are going really well. Obviously, you've got plenty coming through, and it's great to see a lot of young guys out there.
Our under 19s are going horribly, actually.
Oh. Well, good numbers anyway. Good numbers.
We've got quite a few injuries. So I think we've probably got 7 or 8 of our best players out, and we're struggling a little bit. But we've got some good numbers there, and good numbers, right throughout the footy club. I think we've got about 470 registered players. So keeps us busy.
Now, Matt, I do need to ask you this. I'm contractually obliged by our man Jason Bennett back at VAFA HQ to talk about Joey Pignataro. Now, Joey's been telling me every week that he's been receiving and giving out text messages with the Xavs Mafia, as he calls them, talking about all of this, all of that. When you see Joey's Snow Dogs down by 69 points at half-time, when you have the opportunity to get back over this 13-point buffer that's currently holding you from the lead here at the University Melbourne Oval, do you see opportunity today to stick one up the little man?
He's not getting any text from me, I assure you that. But he doesn't like us very much at all, does he? He's got a real bee in his bonnet at the moment, Joey. But no, it's good to see Scotch actually back on the winners list down there. It looks like they must have some of their VFL boys back.
Yeah, James Tarrant on the team list, as I mentioned a little bit earlier on, which seems to be a few goals different. So let's talk about the ladder this year, because it's been super competitive up the top. It does feel like Old Brighton are the pace setters. St Kevin's have got closest to them, but obviously they're yet to lose a game. But then the ladder takes a really interesting turn when you've got this host of 4 and 2 teams, including yourselves. St Bernard's are in there, St Kevin's and Old Haileybury coming up from Premier B. It feels like competitions for spots amidst that top 5 is really tough, and then you see a team like the Uni Blues who are 2 and 4, and I suppose part of that gulf, the gulf that separates the 4 and 2 and 2 or 4 teams, they're trying to bridge that, but they're certainly very competitive, especially at their home ground. How do you see your team fitting into the mix of the very best in top flight ammos?
Yeah, look, I think the comp's in a great spot. I mean, I think anyone on any day can beat anybody. To be frank, so I think the results have shown if you're just a little bit off against anybody, you'll get done. So, we had Brighton obviously last week, and they touched us up. I think they're definitely the pace setters. I told Clarkie it's his to lose, so don't stuff it up. Look, there's some seriously good sides in there. I mean, Haileybury pushed us really, really hard. St Kevin's are always hard to beat. So I think it'll be a pretty tight run thing. I think our footy, at our best, I think can match it with most. It's just about getting everyone on the park and playing consistent footy and playing the brand of footy we want to play.
Hugo, we were speaking earlier in the week to Dan Donati, and he mentioned a bit of a difference from the start of last year to the start of this year, which is just having some VFL availability. When you've got some guys like Nick Guiney, who's playing today, didn't play last week, but he's at Richmond VFL. You get the likes of, I suppose, Charlie McIsaac, who's been away from Footscray for a few years now, but Tommy McRae, you're getting him every week. You don't have to worry about those as much. You've had some more consistency. Has it felt that way for you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, having the likes of Nick Guiney, Sterling Fitzpatrick, who's been playing at Carlton, good to have him back today. Tommy McRae coming back full time this year. Just having not so much even on the Saturday, having them there Tuesday, Thursday, and having that continuity through the week, and it's really important for the group. So yeah, we've been lucky with that this year, and may it continue, hopefully.
And we're not at Toorak Park.
No.
I'm yet to head out there and see the developments.
Jeez, you're missing out, Paddy.
How are they settling in? You've got to tell me about this. I'm living vicariously through Matthew Donald and Hugo Higginbotham who've been out there. I haven't got to see it yet. I hear it's a behind glass commentary box.
It is.
All the trimmings.
Very comfortable in there. No, it's great. It's amazing to see it all come together. It's been a long time coming and a lot of work, but it has made a big difference, for us this year to be back home and have rooms and have a social club, and it's going really well. So we're rapt to be back there.
Just on this week, obviously, it was a disappointing loss for you guys last week. Did you cast a president's eye over the club? Did you notice a feeling around the place, or was it a good buzz? Or
yeah, look, I mean, even after we lost on the weekend, I was saying to a few people before, when I was standing up doing the post-match, there was not one bit of spare real estate in the room. So there was, and that's credit to Brighton for the amount of people there and our people. But it was a good buzz. Look, as Nutsy said during the week, you're not going to win every game. It's just about how you respond, and I'd like to see us responding a bit better than we are. But I'm sure the boys will bounce back in the second half.
Well, probably a big crowd last week in the rooms because it was so cold and wet outside. And you've got the beautiful glass and everything. Now, the function room at the end, the private box, have you hired that one out much for many games?
We haven't yet, but we tried to auction it off and we didn't really get any bidders for it. So Ralph O'Shannessy, our GM of footy, he just used it as his little private area down there to watch the games. But it's pretty handy.
We might book in for our commentators' Christmas party at the end of the season.
Happy to take bookings. We might set you up in there if you like. You can put a little bar fridge in there and you can enjoy the afternoon.
It's not a bad day, actually.
Get the races on for us as well.
Exactly.
Have a little commentators footy game. I'll be playing on the wing, long sleeves, 2 disposals. Scared of the football. Let's put your footy cap on, Matt Cosgrove, before we let you go back to the function. 13 points down at half time. You've been in this contest. What needs to change for you?
Yeah, I just think we've got to get a bit of run into our game and start, not just kicking and hoping, which I think we've been doing a little bit in the first half, and getting our good users of the footy, getting their hands on the footy, and giving our forwards a chance. But look, I think last year we were 26 points down or something at half time and came back and won. So the boys have done it before, and I'm sure they'll respond in the second half.
You've got your last 5 against the Uni Blues on the right side of the ledger, so hoping for your sake that you're able to come over the top in this second half. Matt Cosgrove, our half-time guest, all thanks to Next Gen Electrical. Good luck for the rest of the game, and until we see you next time.
Thanks, guys.
A break before we return to the footy here at the University Main. It's the Uni Blues 7-4-46 leading the Old Xaverians 5-3-33.
VAFA action is back for 2025, and you can catch the award-winning VAFA William Buck Premier Men's SEN Match of the Day every Saturday afternoon. Listen to all the VAFA footy action live on the SEN website and SEN app today from 1:45 p.m.
Are you looking to grow your business? William Buck are more than just accountants and advisors who can develop strategic growth plans for your business. With over 125 years' experience, William Buck has expertise in navigating through challenging times and has been working closely with the VAFA community, creating positive change for individuals, businesses and community organisations. William Buck's team of specialist advisors work collaboratively, providing you with 360 support. Schedule a complimentary consultation today by visiting williambuck.com.
Hey guys, at GYG we never compromise on the quality of our food. That's why we only serve 100% free-range chicken. We're on a mission to reinvent fast food, because who said fast food had to be bad food? Love ya.
The Anytime Fitness VAFA Rising Star Award recognises the competition's most talented young players. Each week, the VAFA Rising Star Committee receives nominations for 1 male and 1 female player, aged 20 years or under, who played no more than 7 senior games before this season. Our overall season winners will be declared the Anytime Fitness VAFA Rising Stars for 2025. So, if your club has a young gun making their mark, nominate them now at media@vafa.com.au.
Footy's at the heart of Victoria, but gambling harm is creeping onto our fields. That's where the Real Stakes steps in. Backed by the Victorian Amateur Football Association, the Real Stakes helps local clubs tackle the risk of online sports betting head on. Get the tools, spark the conversation, and protect what really matters, your mates. Visit realstakes.com.au to find out more.
Is your club celebrating a player milestone? Let us know at VAFA Media and we'll feature it in the Amateur Footballer. We're always on the lookout for stories that acknowledge outstanding achievements and the clubs behind them. Email us at media@vafa.com.au.
VAFA action is back for 2025, and you can catch the award-winning VAFA William Buck Premier Men's SEN Match of the Day every Saturday afternoon. Listen to all the VAFA footy action live on the SEN website and SEN app today from 1:45pm.
7-4-46, the University Blues. 5-3-33, the old Xaverians. It's the Blues by 13 points at the long break. We're turning for home here at the Melbourne University Oval on vafa.com.au and the SEN app. My name is Paddy Grindlay, Matthew Donald and Hugo Higginbotham beside me. Raj Johnston on the boundary as well for us today, all thanks to Kosh Living. It's the match of the day, Saturday afternoon amateurs footy, and it's the Blues at home who are looking to improve their record on the year to 3-4. The Xavs at 4-2. Looking to keep in touch with the very top of the ladder. Scores around the competition: Old Brighton 9-8-62, leading Collegians 4-4-28. So a 34-point lead for the Tunners atop the ladder and yet to lose a game this year. Old Scotch away 13-7-85, leading St Bernard's 2-4-16 at St Bernard's College. So the Cards have shaken off a pretty dodgy start to the year to lead by 69 points at the long break. De La Salle 4-3-27 trailed the University Black 6-5-41 at Waverley Oval. 14-point leaders there, Dale Bauer's squad. And TH King, it's Old Haileybury 5-7-37 on the road, leading St Kevin's 4-5-29. Daniel Ward and his Bloods up early in the contest there. This is the VAFA William Buck SEN Match of the Day. Both squads breaking from their halftime huddles and heading out to their positions. It's the Blues by 13 points. Matthew Donald, hello to you again.
Hello, Paddy. No, good to be back. A terrific conversation again that you and Hugo had both had at halftime. Your halftime chats are always very much worth tuning into. A great game of football. Love the way that the first half played out. End-to-end football, both sides being on top. Goal for goal early. Really good to see the Blues kicking away a bit in that second term, led by James Stewart and up forward and Darcy Churgwin in the midfield for the Blues. But an important goal for the Xavs from the returning Phipps Parsons just before half-time, just to keep things interesting.
So Raj Johnston is on the boundary for us today, thanks to Kosh Living, luxury, modern and designer outdoor furniture. And he was inside both rooms at half-time.
Yeah, Paddy just had the chance to catch up with Uni Blues coach Matt Smith, who was really pleased with his side's at ball pressure in the first half. He wants to see some more reward. He thinks they lacked reward for effort, so would like to see them rewarded more, but knows they need to stay up at the start of the third quarter. They can't drop and need to stay ahead mentally in this game.
Hugo Higginbotham, your thoughts?
Yeah, I couldn't agree with that more. They definitely had a lot of the ball forward half, but it's been an excellent contest, as we said, flowing football. I reckon Xavs were probably lucky that quarter to get a couple back. The margin could have been a lot worse, could have been a lot bigger. And now, I'm just really curious to see how this plays out.
The third quarter is Sebastian Collective. Matthew Donald on the call.
So, as we start the second half, it's a 13-point lead to the hosts, the Blues. Spralia gets the tap down to begin the second half. Semiopolis coming off the edge of the square to get the ball. He's caught by Taylor. We'll get a stoppage. It was 4-2 to 2-3 in that second term in favour of the hosts. Stavro, he was caught. Shergwin likewise. Fisher got the hand pass out. They've got players on the outside. Semiopolis tries to take on the tackler. Does well. Stavro gets a pass. Running alongside is Guiney. Back at the side. And in the goals. 2 to Nick Guiney. Perfect start to the second half for the Xavs. They close the gap here at University Oval. 6-3-39. They still trail by 7 points. Uni Blues 7-4-46. It took all of 35 seconds for the Xavs to hit the board in this third term for Bastion Collective.
Well, that was a great start by the Xavs there. They seem to have lifted their pressure really quickly, around the ball there, caused a couple of turnovers, and then it's just a chain of hands and a really good surging goal. So you like to see that from your midfielders. Very dangerous when your midfielders press forward, and they're probably going to need to do that, Xavs, as well, because they haven't got the massive marking targets down forward like Blues have.
So that's 5 goals on the year for Guiney. As Matt Cosgrove mentioned at Richmond VFL, has been for the last couple of years. Here's Churgwin to Dykes, defensive point of the centre square for the Uni Blues. O'Shea tumbles it down the far wing. That's worked out all right for the Blues. It's kicked inside 50 by Bain. Grimley first to it. Ran past the footy in truth. It was a little bit down and to his right. Jack Whitehead of the Xavs tumbles it out of there to centre half back. Churgwin now with it. Spreads it to the outside. Bain goes inside 50 again. This kick's not too much chop. Trigar takes it away. Kicks it as far as he can down the far side of the ground. O'Shea intercepts for the Blues. A third entry in succession. Surely they can bring one down. They can't. Guiney to Stavro. He has Lane screaming for it at right half back. And Campbell Lane by hand will move it forward. And the Xavs now in the hands of Knott. He will go short down the broadcast wing. This all by hand. They couldn't find the relieving mark, and as such, the Blues pressure ratcheted up. They win it back through a holding the ball free kick. And it's going to be Dykes to take it forward for the University Blues.
Now, if Dykes goes for an entry here, it's going to be a shallow entry. The last 3 entries are all shallow as well, so that's probably gone away from what's been working for them.
And this is your call, Hugo. Shallow entry. Townsend was there, brought it to ground. High snap towards the teeth of goal. Grindlay has front spot. Knocked away from him. Gathered by Connor on the left boot. Happy birthday! Charlie's got his second. A quick reply from the Uni Blues. Great roving goal. Not the first time he's done that today. Charlie Connor just read it off hands to perfection and snaps truly. And that margin's extended once again. 8-4-52 the Blues. Old Xavs 6-3-39. 3 minutes gone here on the third quarter scoreboard for Bastion Collective.
Nice pressure in the forward line there, and that's what you like to see. I mean, they were lucky to get away with that shallow entry, but pressure again caused the ball to move forward, and, Grindlay's not going to get outmarked, so if you're a small forward, you want to be at his feet, and exactly what we saw there. A good roving goal.
So 2 for Cotter and 2 goal assists last week, but no goals. So he's figured out where he needs to be at the base of the big boys, which is what he's been doing at training during the week, which is why Matt Smith likes him so much. That's a great tackle on Fisher, who was trying to run away. Youngins got him and brought him down.
As soon as the ball hits the ground, even if you've got it.
So Youngins goes short to Fisher. Yeah, that tackle, he got Fisher to the ground. Fisher then handballed the ball away, but he was held for a long time. So the umpire making the right decision. Here's Grindlay from 2 deep, just snatched it and holds it up in the 1 mitt, as if to say, how good am I in the air? And Big Sam will go back for a chance at his third.
Do you reckon he'd say that?
I don't think so. He seems to be the strong, silent type to Sam Grindlay.
Does Tottenham have a case there, Hugo? Because it looked like both got their hands to the ball at the same time.
Look at the old man in front now. I don't think you look at the way he moved through, and it's an easy one for the umpire to call that one. I'm sure Tottenham's going to try and make a case.
So Grindlay.
Sure he is too.
Plenty of advice coming from the old Xaverians bench, just filtering through our effects mic. He's 45-degree angle on the paint to 50. He starts that right, it drifts even further, and in the end it's lucky to score for Sam Grindlay.
I think the advice was aim for the right point post.
It was actually
just about where he kicked it in the end, Sam Grindlay. So 8-5-53 the University Blues, 6-3-39 the old Xaverians, 4.5 gone in the third term. That's all thanks to Bastion Collective.
So McRae with the kick-in duties now. He had a look to the far side, but he's going to bring it out this way. He does so. He keeps his feet as well, doesn't slip over. They're getting in, coming across with the spoil was Lloyd. Killed that contest, and we've got a neutral ball at right half forward for the Blues.
Might check with Raj Johnston in a few moments' time how Jeremy Goddard is doing. Had a head knock at the end of the second quarter. We will just check in with Jez, the number 24 for the Blues. A great soccer goal earlier in the day. And even perhaps a goal of the day contender. That's all thanks to Jumbo Corp, Hugo and Matthew.
Channeling his inner Brennan Johnson from the Europa League final Thursday morning. Ball tossed back into the field of play. LaCava was there. Spralia used his big frame. Spun into trouble. The big man's got some tricks. Kicks it out towards the wing. And now a good tackle there from Gleeson. That time on Westcott. It's been a good battle, that one. We'll get a stoppage. There's a little bit of push and shove as well. Careful, Guiney's in there. LaCava too. Tossed up once more. Neither ruck got the tap down. It was well positioned there for Carrington to do something, and that's smothered out of bounds as well, and we'll get another throw in.
All appealing for out on the full. There's all good plays there, but it bounced probably 4 times to get there. Worth the appeal every time.
It's right in front of us here on the commentary wing. Right up and close to the action. One of the best places to call here, University Oval. Toss back in, Carrington front spot. Spratley used his reach just to get over the top of it and tap it down to LaCava, and that kick is going into the condemned building that Paddy referred to earlier. It's gone. Fortunately, it hasn't gone in there. There'll be plenty of health and safety violations, I think. And that kick in is going to be retaken. So take 2 at bringing it back into play.
McRae not quite on his line. He'll just be brought back. So at left half back, right in front of his bench. Nice darting across the arc of 50. Setting Sunshine now, causing a bit of an issue for the players looking into the sun. It's down the line, and that's a good grab by Spralia, who was 4th in the chain, timed his run and leap, and took it in the hands. 16 disposals and nearly 50 hit-outs a game for Big Alec this year. Best and fairest winner at the Xavs last season. Westcott with a fist at the arc of 50. It was a shallow entry in truth. Crocker makes the road. Trouble coming. Lloyd, it was Taylor rather, who was tackled to the ground by Phipps Parsons, and a ball up the decision from the umpire. Phipps Parsons, perhaps with a right to feel aggrieved He had Mitch Taylor on toast. Regardless, it'll be thrown up 35 metres out from goal. Carrington, the big body, wrestles around. Phipps-Parsons lurking dangerously. Simeopoulos gets through. Handball's away. Charlie McIsaac chases, grabs at his head. The ball trickles towards the boundary at right half forward. Taken there by Tuddenham. His kick is smothered and out of bounds.
Down the boundary line, Raj Johnston for Kosh Living. Raj, what have you got?
Thank you, Matty. I've spoken with the Uni Blues trainer who has confirmed that Jeremy Goddard is done for today.
So no more Jeremy Goddard, unfortunately for the Blues. Hopefully he's on the mend. And the head knock not too serious. Thrown back in, arc of 50. The Xavs deep in attack. It's taken away there by Wicks, who tumbles it in the Townsend direction. We'll go near the boundary. Hart keeps it in for the Xavs at centre wing. The handball of Tuddenham, who was happy to take it out of play, and the umpire will call for it to be thrown in front of the Uni Blues bench between the Xavs forward 50 rather, and the wing commentary side.
So it's a 14-point lead for the Blues at the moment. 8 minutes gone here in this third term. Carrington punches it forward, gains a few metres, and then Young is trying to crash through, did well. Got the hand pass out, McRae there on hands and knees. And now Wicks on top of him, and we'll get another stoppage here. Right in front of us again, centre wing, commentary side. Now both rucks got hands to it there. Swooping on it and spinning was Fisher. Kicks it to half forward over the head there of Gleeson. Comes back towards Taylor, who's caught. He's got both arms pinned. It's a good tackle by Brosnan. It's another stoppage. You're at half forward for the Xavs. A goal apiece here in this third term. It's been a good game, this one. It's the Uni Blues, the 7th place Uni Blues that hold the advantage at the moment. Both rucks got taps to it. Fisher, well, caught his man in a 360 and didn't have the ball. The umpire won't play on. And now it's out of play, and we'll get another stoppage.
Pressure's huge this quarter from Xavs. They've really got themselves back into the contest and starting to get into their front half a little bit more. So they just need to probably try and get that one entry off one of these stoppages now, nice and deep, and then have a marking option down there.
The word for Authorsport Victoria, Jeremy Goddard out for the rest of the game after a head knock in the second term. Carrington reached above his head, brought it down behind him, where the ball will be tied up again by the Packer players. Approaching 10 minutes gone in this third term. 8.5.53 the University Blues, 6.3.39 the old Xaverians, thanks to Bastion Collective. Ball in the air, Stavro's got it on the outside. His handball was patted down. McCarver got through with the footy. Stavro tackled it without the ball. The umpire said play on. Fisher now tracking it. Will wait to apply the tackle and does so over the boundary line. So it'll be thrown back in between wing and half forward. This all taking place on the commentary side of the ground at the University Main. As we mentioned, 14-point leaders, the Blues. Just trying to hold on. They were ahead for much of the game here last week against Old Haileybury. The Bloods got them late. So they'll be looking to just try and hold on here in the third term. Carrington from the ruck took it out, kicked it in the Townsend direction, who tumbled to the ground, emerged, shrugged a tackler done, kicked it deep inside 50. Stewart! 2 hands to it, couldn't bring it down. Roving is Cotter, runs to his right-hand side, shrugs the tackle, goes up the left. That is a pearler! For Charlie! Charlie Cotter's got a pair. In fact, he's got 3. And the young man who turns 18 today is setting himself up for a very nice afternoon at the football. 9.5.59 the University Blues, 6.3.39 the old Xavs. 20-point leaders, the Uni Blues.
It's just what we were talking about before. So just with Stewart there being such a strong, prodigious player, just put the ball in his area. You know, he probably was never going to mark that, but just the roving goals. You have an absolute bag sitting underneath him all day.
The man who wishes he could turn 18 every week, Charlie Cotter, has kicked 3 beauties today.
Don't we all?
He's spot on there, Hugo Higginbotham. Comes back into the middle now. Simeopoulos drives a kick inside, attacking 50. And Fisher got some separation from his man there and takes it on his chest. He can line up for another quick reply here for the Xavs. They need this one. Just out to 20 points all of a sudden for the Uni Blues. So we're approaching the halfway mark here in this third term. It's in good hands though. Sam Fisher averaging 30 touches, nearly 11.5 clearances this season. He's only kicked the 4 goals though. The 5 goals, rather. 5-4. So this will be a tough kick from here. He's a very good player, Sam Fisher. He's just pushed that one near side, a minus score. 6-4-40 old Xavs. 9-5-59. The Uni Blues don't like this scoreboard, Paddy. It reminds me of a certain grand final back in 2021. But we won't go into it much further from there. I'll leave you to take over.
We don't mention scoreboards anymore. We got in trouble for that last week.
So Charlie Cotter with the goal of the day contender for Jumbo Corp a few moments ago. Fisher couldn't respond. It's 19 points the advantage for the Blues. So Carrington, right half back, will be called to go here. It's Conway rather who kicks it long in the air. Townsend will get a leap at this. Stewart was deep in the pack. The fist came over the top from Tregar. The ball will go out of play. Curran there taking it out with Tudman. Both players slipping over on that incredibly slippery boundary side here, commentary side of the ground. Between wing and half forward for the Xavs. 6-4-40, trailing the Blues 9-5-59, approaching 13 minutes gone. Around the grounds in just a few moments' time. Held back into play. Grimley front spot. It went over the back and it was slapped on by Ben Moyle. Of course, brother of Ned Moyle, the ruck at the Gold Coast Suns. Looks like the heir apparent there to Jared Witts. And here's the brother, Ben, doing the battle against Sam Grimley. Taken down was young'uns by a pair of Xaverians. Simiopolis now happy to do the tackling. This all playing out in front of the Uni Blues bench. Matthew Donald, I can't get this to go anywhere. You should have a crack.
Oh, I promise I'll try. Grimley with the flick back. Simiopolis was taken in a tackle there by young'uns. It's not been a great start either from me trying to clear this congestion. We'll have another go. Grimley was pushed out of it, or held out of it rather, according to the umpire.
So Stewart stayed up at the contest there now, which gave him an extra behind. He's lurking back, so Grimley's having a look now.
Grimley does go down the line. Stewart is there. He's got to contend with the world. Townsend flew. He couldn't take the mark. It's come to Curran, who was caught without it. Umpire wave play on. Now it's come out here. Moyle again just throws on the left boot. High ball. Not a very good kick with the numbers off. I would tell you what, that was well judged in the end from Conway. He didn't look in control of it at all, but he took the mark all the same and got the kick away. And now it's Dykes, who at half-back drives out towards the far side of the ground. And they've got space here. You're spot on, Hugo. Kick into the middle of the ground works. Gleason's got it. He just wants to hold things up here now, Gleason. Short on. Baines dropped. They've got time to recover, though. Gathers it on the left boot, speeds it into the pocket. Townsend was there over his head. Trigger's got to go back. Bounce eluded Ralph. Then it eluded Townsend. Trigger's got it once more. He's tackled by Jack Whitehead. Kicks it wide. And has that gone out on the full? So I think it has. So there'll be an opportunity here for the Blues. I think that's Evans who's got it. And comes in short. And there's the birthday boy again. Cotter! He's spinning, good goal kicking for the day, Cotter. He's kicked 3 beauties. This may well be the pick of the bunch if he can top it from here.
His other 2 weren't bad.
He's been very good in front of goal.
This is a very important kick for the Blues. Remember the last week where they dropped off in the second half, let the other side back in. This to put them at 4 goals up.
This will be a huge kick for Charlie Cotter. He'd only kicked 2 goals coming into today so far this season. He's got a chance to add his 4th of the match to the tally here. It'll be a tough kick. He'll be kicking from 50 on the left boot. He has, well, I mean, that's, it's sort of even now. 3 beauties and then that effort. No score, out on the full, and the Xavs get the ball back.
The good thing for Charlie is it's not down as a behind, so his ledger technically remains perfect. Lane from the right back pocket drives it long. It was Conway who used the body neatly, let's say. It'll come the way of Lloyd of the Blues, who goes back inside 50 and finds Evans in a paddock. And he's exactly in the same spot that Cotter kicked from, beneath the scoreboard, on the far side of the ground, left half forward for the University Blues, 48 metres out from goal.
Well, let's just see what Cotter did before. He doesn't want to.
It's a pretty simple instruction from the 3-time Coach of the Year and 2-time Premiership Coach, Hugo Higginbotham.
Yeah, I would have sent the runner out with that too.
So Evans, an opportunity for the 10th of the day for the Blues. As you mentioned, a crucial kick. I'll get to why in just a second as Evans marches in and has just got it skinny. 9-6-60 now to 6-4-40, even 20 points the lead. And the reason why I think it's so important, Hugo, is the Blues for the last 4 games have had dodgy halves, either the first or the second half. They've been really quiet. I reckon it's under 20 points in each of their poor halves over the last 4 weeks. So if they can just keep the scoreboard ticking over and hold the Xavs at arm's length, they'll be well served today as Phipps Parsons marks at right half back.
Is it almost the fact that we're waiting for them to drop off? We're just waiting for something like that to happen?
Guiney's got it on the wing, got the kick from Phipps Parsons, comes back into the middle of the ground. Moyle goes out wide over the head of Lane. That's a missed opportunity, and it's gone out of play for a boundary throw-in.
Around the grounds, thanks to the Aviary of Melbourne, Old Brighton 9.963, Collegians 6.541, 22-point leaders. University Blacks 9.559, leading D-Lar 5.434 by 24 points. Old Haileybury by 12 points over St Kevin's, and then at St Bernard's College, it's Old Scotch by 78 points over St Bernard's.
Moyle to McRae, or Lane to McRae rather, and then coming over the top was Isaac. He didn't grab it. It's come out to Westcott on the right boot, clips it forward, no mark taken. LaCava was there, he crashed through. It's still in dispute. The hand pass comes out and then back to Dykes. It was smothered by Westcott. Goes it again, Westcott steps around a man, hands it off to Austin, snaps towards goal. And Texas puts it wide. It's a minor score, one behind. 6-5-41 Old Xavs. Uni Blues 9-6-60, approaching 18 minutes gone here in this third term.
Just seems like Xavs are looking for more opportunistic goals when they're going forward, rather than having. Well, they don't have that big marking option like Stewart does, like Stewart is down the other end, and Grimley, and even Townsend.
So O'Shea will probably go to one of those. Stewart is the main target. It's going to be kicked in his direction. It got all the way through to James Stewart. It bounced off the palms of the big fella and then into the pack where it's been wrapped up, and the umpire will throw it up between right half forward and the wing for the Old Xaverians. Far side of the ground. Dying sunlight here at the Melbourne Uni Oval. Moyle reached over the top. Got to Bain by hand from Youngans. Tight roping the boundary line. Kicks it high in the air. Going back with the flight was Hamish McIsaac for the Old Xaverians, and he takes the mark. Defensive side of the wing. Wants the short option. It's a good one. Stavro, the co-captain this year, alongside Campbell Lane. Number 3 in his 78th senior game for the Old Xaverians, formerly of Donvale and Eastern Rangers. Played some footy for the Northern Blues. That's not his finest effort though, as he kicked towards half forward. Dykes chops it off. So a bit of kick-to-kick developing between the two squads. It's been a bit of a slow 3 or 4 minutes here. We're now with Mitch Lloyd at left half back of the Blues. His switching options have dried up, so he's just going to have to kick it back from whence it came. Townsend's in the pack. He's going to have to play from behind on Tregar. Tregar spoiled it down. It only went, though, as far as Archie Lord. And now Crocker in the middle of Melbourne University Oval has runners going alongside. The kick deep inside 50, 2-on-1 favouring the Xavs. They need to bring the ball down. Grimley behind the contest, wrapped up. Got rid of one. Tackled off his handball. Umpire calls play on. Still they roll. A kick in the direction of Evans. He's spoiled. Still going with Stewart. He snaps towards goal. It'll be cut off by the Xavs defence. They did it well. And putting up the hand is Tuddenham to say, let's calm it down. Let's just retain possession. He goes short and hits Brosnahan.
So Brosnahan's got it at half back now. He's called to go. Evans follows up. Strong tackle from the number 18. Forces the turnover. And it'll be a boundary throw-in. Appeals for insufficient intent. Not coming. Good pressure though from Ned Evans. Turned a certain Xavs ball into a stoppage inside. Old Uni Blues attacking 50. What can they generate out of this? The ball's tossed back into the field of play. Stewart thumps it back towards goal. There's Tuddenham again. Gets out of trouble, hands it to Brosnahan, although he couldn't gather it cleanly, and it's out for another throw-in. Down to the boundary for Kosh, living Raj Johnston. Raj, what have you got for us?
Yeah, Matty, I've been past the Old Xavs bench. Well, let me tell you, Dan Donati is not happy with some of his side's missed opportunities. I did take a look at his whiteboard, and he has written on there, out-hunted. Interesting to see that.
Well, we'll have to see the response. I reckon they might get a bit of a bake at three-quarter time. The Xavs, unless they can turn it around here. Moyle grabs out of the ruck. It slews off the side of the boot. Brosnahan was favoured by the kick and takes the mark in front of Dykes. They finally got it out of their defensive 50, the Xavs. Now Brosnahan's going to go high at the wings. And Spriley almost came over the top, almost took the mark. And then that was a strong tackle there from O'Shea on Westcott. The umpire will call for it. We'll get another stoppage here on the centre wing.
Well, shout out to our man Raj for the investigative journalism over at the Old Xaverians bench. Great reporting coming from our man. All thanks to Kosh Living. Here's Fisher on the boundary line, perhaps even out of the field of play, as our man Bruce says, but it's been cut off by Conway.
What's he done there, Conway? Is it the boot or
looks to be a little bit proppy there. Conway, our eyes on that. He wants a handball option. He's called to go now. Just has to sit it down, and it does not look right. We'll keep an eye on that one for Author Sport Victoria. It'll bounce around here on the broadcast wing. O'Shea collars Sterling Phipps-Parsons, interrupted his handball. Now it's with Carrington. His handball cut off by Fisher. He kicks towards half forward to McIsaac, who had to play from behind and applied the spoil to Mitch Lloyd. Got it out of play 60 metres from goal. Conway coming off the ground.
Kind of look like cramp, but
It's hard to be sure.
Yeah, there's a little bit of proppiness to Big Nick, so Raj Johnston will make his way over to Matt Smith's bench and check on the big fella.
I think he might have got one in the lower stomach region.
Yeah, that's one word for it, Hugo Higginbotham. Eloquent as always.
Ball tossed back in. Carrington grabbed it out of the ruck with one arm. There are appeals for holding the ball, but it will be a ball up instead. Just outside the Xavs attacking 50 here. Away that time by Moyle. Now it is inside 50 for the Xavs. And Taylor's caught in a tackle. As we get some aerial shots of the ground from the helicopter that's coming past. It's a long way from the ground. Normally we just send drones these days, but we're going a bit old school this time around. Now, what's going on there? Vantage inside 50. You don't know what happened there.
Well, everyone else had stopped except for Stafford. Look at the umpire.
Bit of mental calisthenics there from the umpire. Not sure how he found a free kick out of that. But there's been a free and advantage, and now an opportunity for Phipps Parsons, who's already got one important goal for the Xavs today. Here's an opportunity to make it two.
Well, I was just about to say, these next couple of minutes are really important for the Xavs. They need to get one back here, just so that margin doesn't get away from them. And, then do the little thoughts in the Blues' heads about the way they've dropped off the last couple of weeks. Does that start to come into play?
Right behind the kick from Sterling Phipps Parsons here.
Oh, beautiful.
It's a gorgeous kick. Holds the line and it's through. Phipps Parsons has two. He's back in the side. And they close the gap again, the Xavs. Back to 13 points here at Melbourne University Oval. 7-5-47. They trail 13 points. Uni Blues 9-6-60. And that's on the third-term scoreboard for Bastion Collective.
I just feel like Fish has really lifted his output the last 10 minutes or so. He seems to be in everything for the Xavs, and he's a key player for them. When he gets up and about and he gets the ball, and such a good user of the ball as well. You want the ball in his hands. Something dangerous always happens, and that was a fortuitous goal, but you take those. Doesn't matter how you get them when the contest's so tight.
The voice of Hugo Higginbotham, the 3-time Coach of the Year, 2-time Premiership Coach at Community TV. It's Old Haileybury by 18 points over St Kevin's. You can watch that one via the Herald Sun website, as we're with Evans in the middle of the University Oval. Crocker snaps blindly. Fisher back with the Fletcher-Gar rather. Takes it on his chest. We know the Xavs can score quickly. That kick's not carrying the distance to Fisher, who just got rid of the tackler Wicks with disdain. He let himself down though with the disposal. Turned it over to Archie Lord, who cuts it down in front of us on the wing, broadcast side for the Blues.
They've been excellent with that intercepting mark today, the Blues. That's what they're famous for.
11.5 disposals, 6.5 intercepts a game for Archie Lord. He kicks towards half forward. Townsend's kept it in. Snaps it towards a one-on-one. Grimley is there. It'll carry the pack, and Ralph next to the behind post jogs across and takes the chest mark, and then switches to the right back pocket for Campbell Lane, who runs his full measure beneath the scoreboard. Beautiful kick. Phipps Parsons is on the end of it. He's looking ahead. The red and black jumpers streaking forward. The options dry up. He goes laterally to Dunn, and Dunn might want to continue the switch.
Got to keep coming. Got to move the ball quick. They need another goal before three-quarter time.
Ruff is the last man in the chain. Now to Trigar. Left back pocket. Next up is Hamish McIsaac. He'll jog up and take it on the bounce with just a momentary fumble. The next one in the chain is Jack Whitehead. So they're moving it inch by inch. It's painstaking.
It's going on.
And we'll take this ball back because Whitehead had some interference from Fisher. That's Sam, who was a bit too close to the footy for the umpire's liking. So we'll reset Jack Whitehead, tucked in behind the wing broadcast side.
I wasn't aware there was a rule about that your own teammate could be too close to you when you've taken the mark.
Well, there is apparently now in this game, Paddy. So, but
I'm going to say I don't read the rule book every day. The kick goes over the head there of Brusnahan. It was from McRae, and it's gone out to play for a boundary throw-in.
What do you read every day?
Imagine Ange Postecoglou's biography would be high in rotation.
That is definitely next on the wish list. I will be going to my local bookstore and picking that one up.
So 60 playing 47 just quickly, Hugo. Really dangerous part of the game here for the Uni Blues.
Absolutely. We've seen them drop off the last couple of weeks. The ball's been going backwards and forwards. They do not want to concede another one before three-quarter time. And on the other side of the fence, Xavs really need one before three-quarter time to take some momentum in. Yeah. And a little bit of belief and a bit of confidence.
It does really feel like the next goal there's a big bounty on it at this point. The ball's tossed up. It bounced twice before anyone got hands to it. Moyle there with the tackle on Wicks, and then Youngins with the tackle on Fisher. And we'll do it again.
Fisher's been big this quarter, hasn't he? Just really, he's lifting the boys.
Moyle Tapped it down in Churgle, and there's Fisher, that man on cue. Draws the man, gets it to Guiney. Clever little tap onto Knott. He's caught, but he just about gets the kick away. They've got another here, and it's Australia, the big fella. The Ruckman's drifted forward, and he's got an opportunity to kick a massive goal here. 45-degree angle, he'll kick it from about 30 metres out. He's only managed 2 goals this year. He'd dearly love to add a third.
Hugo Higginbotham, there are a lot of Uni Blues players who look out on their feet, hands on hips. Will Carrington in front of us, squatting down. They are starting to look a touch tired.
Yeah, they are, and that's probably indicative of the pressure that's been around in this quarter as well. But Carrington's done a huge job today. He's up against one of the best ruckmen in the competition.
Australia has just got it. He's just got it. He pushed it hard to the right goalpost, but it held the line, and the Xavs close the gap again. 7 points the margin here at University Oval as we tick towards 28 minutes here in the third term for Bastion Collective. It's 9-6-60 the Uni Blues, Old Xavs 8-5-53.
That's just Fisher there as well. You can see, I'm not going to say single-handedly, but he's done a massive amount of work this quarter to get his team back in it. He's involved in everything, and every time he is involved with something dangerous happens as well. And Australia, he's probably putting his hand up for Big V selection this year, Paddy, with his numbers and his performances.
Yeah, Daniel Harford, hopefully listening in on the SEN app and on VAFA.com.au, or of course watching on VAFA TV, which you can do during the week. You can catch up with all the games across the top 3 divisions of men's footy and on VAFA William Buck Women's Premier Footy as well. Here's Stavro, emerges from the middle of the ground for the Old Xaverians, who are making a charge late. It's handballed inside 50. Simeopoulos has it, dodges to the inside. Churglin's got him, he's caught it. The umpire instead calls her a ball.
They do a great job each week.
There's some feedback coming.
Give us something to talk about.
From the outer here at the University main, Spralia wins it down. Fisher's after it, as is Phipps Parsons. The Blues clear it to centre half back momentarily.
That's gotta be ball.
Big tackle, Youngins. The umpire lets it roll. Fisher on hands and knees while he was being tackled. Spreads the handball. It ends with Ralph. 60 metres from goal. Props the kick in the Austin direction. Tracks down a tumbling footy. From right half forward, inside 50. It's cut down by the Blues defence. Defending grimly. Deep in the third quarter. Not Sam Grimley, but they're just having to hold on. Here's Isaac Dykes down the far wing. Stewart was in the pack. It'll dribble towards the boundary line. The Blues would be happy to get a stoppage here. Still the ball rolls. Laying the tackle was Whitehead of the Blues. And now eventually the umpire will call a ball up between wing and half forward for the Xavs.
So we're still a little bit of time in this quarter. I'm looking at the timekeepers, and I reckon there's about 2 minutes, maybe 1.5 to go. So that's plenty of time for one. Blues need to get a goal back.
Fisher gets the hand pass out to Stavro, but he runs out of room. The boundary line, the ball goes over the boundary line now to Stavro, and we'll get a throw in.
Quick report from Raj Johnston on the boundary for Autosport Victoria. Nick Conway, just a bit of cramping. He's back on the ground.
That's right, Paddy, just a bit of cramping. He didn't look good when he kicked it before, but he's fine and back on the ground now.
Oh, and they've got it away here. The Xavs kick inside 50. He comes to Nod, snaps around on the left foot, bouncing! Oh, it's gone across the face. The crowd went up. They thought it was home. But it's taken an off break and it's gone through for a minor score. We're back to an even 1-goal game here on the Bastion Collective scoreboard. 9-6-60 the Blues, the Xavs 8-6-54.
So that was a flipper, Matty.
Cricket was never the sport I was best at.
Well, the Blues players all thought it was going through for a major because they turned to the umpire and were appealing for touched, but it never quite got to that point. The Blues in real trouble late in the third term for Bastion Collective. They get it past halfway momentarily. Dunn cuts it down. There was no one in a black and blue jumper within 30 metres of the footy as it was hacked forward. And Dunn with ease can just pick out Ralph down the far side wing. That's a shocking kick by Sam Ralph though. James Stewart cuts it off. Just tucked in defensive side of the wing and wants to slow down the play. Approaching 31 minutes gone, the Blues by one straight kick. Down in the Grimley direction, he ran underneath the footy. Tregar cuts it off for the Xavs. Looks across the face of goal. That's a great switch. Evans. It was inches away from his fingertips. It's taken by the Xavs just. They escape. They get out of jail. Phipps Parsons now at left half back. Takes the relieving mark. Oh, Tregar like a defender, and then Tubman got the sun in the eyes from the Phipps Parsons kick, and now it's the Blues through Dykes. Gave it away. Wrapped up though was Wicks, and we will finish the third term with a goal the difference. 9-6-60 the University Blues, 8-6-54 the Old Xaverians. 6-point game, that third quarter for Bastion Collective, the largest independent communications agency in Australia that exists to be a bastion of Australian ingenuity. It went for 31 and a half minutes. It featured 3 Xavs goals to 2 goals from the University Blues, both through Charlie Cotter. We'll have our huddle report. Will be inside Matt Smith's University Blues huddle on the other side of this.
Hey guys, at GYG we never compromise on the quality of our food. That's why we only serve 100% free-range chicken. We're on a mission to reinvent fast food, because who said fast food had to be bad food? Love ya.
Are you looking to grow your business? William Buck are more than just accountants and advisors who can develop strategic growth plans for your business. With over 125 years experience, William Buck has expertise in navigating through challenging times and has been working closely with the VAFA community, creating positive change for individuals, businesses and community organisations. William Buck's team of specialist advisors work collaboratively, providing you with 360 support. Schedule a complimentary consultation today by visiting williambuck.com.
Tickets are now on sale for the VAFA's 2025 Big V Gala Dinner presented by City Power. It's a landmark event, the largest function the VAFA has ever staged, and it's celebrating 100 years of Big V representative football. This historic evening will serve as the official opening to the Rep Football Weekend, offering a unique opportunity to honour the legacy of the Big V and its enduring significance within the VAFA community. The Big V Gala Dinner will bring together past players, coaches, club representatives and supporters to reflect on a century of tradition, achievement and pride. The evening promises to be one of the most significant in the VAFA's history. You don't want to miss it. It's at Centrepiece at Melbourne Park, Thursday the 10th of July 2025. Tickets now on sale at vafa.com.au.
Footy's at the heart of Victoria, but gambling harm is creeping onto our fields. That's where the Real Stakes steps in. Backed by the Victorian Amateur Football Association, the Real Stakes helps local clubs tackle the risk of online sports betting head on. Get the tools, spark the conversation, and protect what really matters, your mates. Visit realstakes.com.au to find out more.
VAFA action is back for 2025, and you can catch the award-winning VAFA William Buck Premier Men's SEN Match of the Day every Saturday afternoon. Listen to all the VAFA footy action live on the SEN website and SEN app today from 1:45 p.m.
Big final term coming up from the University main. It's the Blues 9-6-60 leading the old Xaverians 8-6-54. They led by as many as 23 points late in the second quarter. The Xavs have come all the way back to push the Blues to the finish. Let's go inside now to the University Blues huddle. This is the voice of Matt Smith, the first-year coach of the Uni Blues.
Our attention goes to now this first 5 minutes, yeah? So the first 2 minutes of that quarter, they did what they wanted to do, and what we spoke about at halftime with the mids, that 1v1 contest. We got away from that just for a second, and they get that first quick goal of that third quarter, yeah? But now we reset, they were able to reset, and then we got it back onto our terms of goal piece at that 5 minute mark. We have to reset, but it starts from as soon as that ball goes up. We can't take 60 seconds to get set. We can't take 2 minutes to get set. We have to be on right from the start here. We get that right and we're right in it. Charlie Cotter, that's just chaos up in that forward line. You're hitting it with energy and you're creating problems for them with your speed, yeah? But the tall forwards just keep competing. We give those smalls a chance if you're competing. Semi, keep jumping for the ball, mate. Don't get stuck wrestling. Don't go back to wrestling, yeah? Get the arms up, keep jumping at the ball. Ball security around the ground. Let's hold on to the ball. We can't afford to bobble the ball up anywhere, but especially across this half-back line. We can't give away little handballs and get it on the outside and allow them to get that open run. Fisher's starting to get it on top a little bit with that midfield group, so someone has to take ownership of that. But we get back to that 1v1, yeah? So it's not just a lockdown on him, but it's a 1v1 for all the mids. The last 10 minutes of that quarter, they probably got on top through that midfield. They were able to get it on the outside, and they were using the ball moving forward. And we gave them the uncontested marks. Spoken about it. We can't afford to roll back and let them take those easy kicks and those uncontested marks and march the ball down without being touched. Come on, boys. Let's get that work rate up. Let's get the intent up to take that away from them, yeah? Come on. Bring in, boys. We do not go into our shells in this last quarter. Our ball movement, the in one side, out and around, change the angles, we do not go away from that in this last quarter. No matter the state of the play, we do not go away from the way that we want to move the ball. We spread as if we're going to go out and around every single time. It's okay not to go, but it's not okay not to spread as if we're not going to go. we take the game away from them now. We have to win this game, but we take it away from them.
Nightmare.
We know what we're playing for. We've spoken about it all week. We know the day, and we know this opportunity that's in front of us here. But more than anything now, we become the nightmare in this last quarter, yeah? We have to be the nightmare in this last quarter. If we're the nightmare, we get this done. All right? Let's go.
Great stuff there from the University Blues coach Matt Smith, and a big thanks to the Uni Blues for the access, and apologies for some of the language that may have slipped through there. Let's get back down to Raj Johnston, all for Kosh Living. He's got the coach of the Uni Blues, Matt Smith, beside him.
I do. It was a clear message there, Matt, to your team. How do you think that third quarter played out?
I mean, we knew they were going to come. They're obviously a quality side, and they were going to come at us hard, and they did. So it didn't hurt us too much. It was disappointing to let up a couple of probably easy goals there with just their chain, and as we spoke about then, the uncontested mark, they were able to get that going again. But I think we still rallied, and the fight's still there and the intent. We just got to stick to playing the way that we want to play in this last quarter.
Charlie Cotter, you must be impressed with him. A great running goal in the third quarter there. Great day for him to turn 18.
Yeah, I mean, if we can finish this off, we'll have some pretty good celebrations afterwards for him, but there's a job ahead, and if he can bring that energy for us and that spark in this last quarter, it'll go a long way to helping us get there.
All the best, thanks.
Thanks, Matt.
Great stuff there from Raj Johnston and Matt Smith on the boundary for us at the University Uni Oval. So we turn home for Symel, building better together for this final quarter. It's the Blues by 6 points. A final word from you, Hugo. What did you make of that address?
Yeah, he's good, mate. He speaks really, really well. I've never heard the word nightmare put into a three-quarter time speech, so that's a good one. I'll put that one in my bag. But what he said was right. So, they saw what they were doing. They were, giving away that 1v1 that they wanted to get happening in the midfield, and we saw that Xavs midfield get on top. So let's just see if Fisher can keep it going. Great work by Raj there before. That was really good.
So 6-point lead to the hosts as we turn for home. A big last quarter ahead here on round 7 VAFA action. It's Stavro out of the middle, tries to get it out to Spralia, who's caught, just shrugs the tackle though, gets the hand pass across, and then a kick inside, attacking 50. Well read though by Gleeson, who took the mark. The back six continuing to hold firm for Uni Blues all day. They've been good at winning the ball back.
Looks like Conway's having trouble with that cramp again.
Goes short now to O'Shea, who goes high up the ground, although Spralia was well positioned, takes the mark. Gives the hand pass across to Lane, who wanted to come back in board, instead changed his mind and goes out wide to Knott. And it's out on the full. So rare error there from Lane. An opportunity for Uni Blues to get the ball back. Eventually it'll be O'Shea who's got it.
He just didn't want to take that switch then, did he? He was coming the right way. He had options, but just went back.
We'll see if they can continue to be the nightmare throughout the course of this final term. The Blues, high kick. Carrington had front spot. Young has roved nicely. Got the kick away, looking for Curran going back. Takes the mark, plays on, drives it back towards full forward. It's gone over the head of Grindlay. Tuddenham was there. It's socket towards goal! Oh, it's just gone across the face.
That was interesting. What fifth passes. It looked like a throw over the boundary line.
For a minor score, there might have been appeals for. It's been signalled to behind, so the lead extends to 7 points here for Uni Blues, but Old Xavs will get the ball back.
There's a strange one, Ralph, from the last line.
Bit of a nightmare, wasn't it?
That might be the word of the final term, I dare say, from our man Hugo Higginbotham. So the Xavs will work their way down the Melbourne University wing in blazing sunshine. Churgwin, though, across the front for the Blues, takes the intercepting mark. And a contested one as well for the VAFA's leading disposal winner, who with this kick will put it back into the mixer, some 25 metres out. Grimley caught behind with Stewart. And the fist came from Tregar and will go out of bounds in the right forward pocket for the Blues.
I thought the words of Matt Smith were interesting at three-quarter time for Sam Grimley. Don't wrestle, jump. He's a big guy. You'd think wrestling would be an advantage for him, but no, doesn't want him to do that.
Yeah. So we'll see how it rolls. We can see, Hugo, that the Old Xavs have cycled one behind the footy in the goal square. Should this ball be snapped towards the goal mouth out of the ruck by Stewart, it's not going to be so, though. Spralia won it down. And working along the boundary line, the Old Xaverians. The handball was initially directed for Dunn. It went past him in the Westcott direction and then over and out between wing and half forward for the Blues. So it's the University Blues 9-7-61 leading the Xavs 8-6-54. Approaching 3 minutes gone for Symel in the final term. Around the competition,
Old Haileybury is the story on Community TV up against St Kevin's at the TH King. They lead it by 11 points, 48 playing 37.
So Carrington grabbed it out of the ruck, tried to snap it forward in vain. It's trickled towards half forward now. Stewart comes out to meet it, gets the hand pass across. They could set it inside 50 here, the Blues. Grimley's in the pocket. He leaps up for it. He had a couple to contend with. It's been knocked over the boundary line for a throw in, so they'll get an opportunity to reset here, the Blues. They've scored the only behind in this final term. 61 to 54 on the Simel scoreboard, building better together. What a big win this would be for the Blues. Coming into today, 7th against 2nd on the ladder. Toss back into play, Stewart doing the ruck work inside, attacking 50. Knocked forward, only as far as Lane, who gathers on the right boot and drives it back out towards the wing. Carrington playing a kick behind the football, had front spot, couldn't take the mark. Woodhouse applying the pressure. Ball very close to the boundary line. Carrington applying the tackle on Woodhouse now, and in fact it has gone over. So we'll get a boundary throw in between wing and half forward for the Blues.
Hugo, is there much in both squads looking to use the far side wing, which we know is the side where the wind blows to today?
Yeah, it's the defensive side of the ground, so it's more of a retaining possession, not putting the ball in a dangerous spot. It's a bit of a game of chess here at the moment, with no one wanting to take the game on and open it up.
So Australia and Carrington, let's see who breaks first here. It was slapped in the direction of the Uni Blues forward half. Stewart hits the deck. Now he'll be tackled. The Old Xavs players will appeal for holding the ball. The umpire will opt to throw it in the air instead. How have you seen James Stewart's performance today, Hugo?
Look, he's a very, very good player, but they start to become a little bit one-dimensional when he's not really getting a lot of the ball either. So, but he can take a good mark and kicks a great goal.
So a secondary stoppage there. Crocker, one of the last up. The Uni Blues tackling machine. Well into double digits last week. Probably into double digits again today. At Waverley Oval, around the grounds, it's the University Blacks by 32 points over De La Salle. So the Blacks looking to do the business on the road. Free kick going the way of the Xavs. In the hands of Simiopoulos, who will go wide to Guiney. Neutral territory, Melbourne University wing. Tries to dodge around O'Shea. Now the centering kick. It's quite dangerous. A 2-1 favouring the Xavs. Curran had to stand under it of the Blues. Big tackle, Young'uns in the centre of the Melbourne University Oval. Hugo Higginbotham wanted ball. Nothing forthcoming from the umpire, Simiopoulos. Hands it back to the man in green, who will throw it in the air.
So in the centre of University Oval, the two rucks go at it. Comes out to LaCava, who just throws onto the boot. Anywhere will do. Hart leapt for it. And he might have been impeded because he's got the free kick for front on contact against Grimley.
See, the switch is on. They've got to go. They've got to take this game on. They've got to open it up.
And they're looking to do that. No Ralph here at fullback. Wants to go up the ground. Bit of danger involved in this kick, and it's been turned over. Bain steps around Tuddenham nicely and then looks to try and hit up a man at half forward. It'll be a downfield free kick. Grimley marked it anyway. Got some separation on his opponent. Now he's got to come back on the mark. He's probably just too far out to score, Grimley. He wheels around. He goes for home. He's going to have a go. Oh, it was just fell short. It looked like it was coming back and then just drifted away late. Knocked through from behind all the same. And another behind in this final term. 9-8-62 Uni Blues. Old Xavs 8-6-54. 6 minutes gone on the final term for Simel. Building better together.
Geez, I wish you would have kicked that, because that would have been 2 on the highlights reel for you this week, Matty. That was a great call.
Yeah, the pen and paper out. This has been kicked out of bounds on the full, so the Blues will get another go. Bain takes the free kick. He brought back on his line, right in front of his bench, 70 metres from goal. Numbers darting for him into the pocket. Bain's a left footer, so we'll drag this right back to the hot spot. Stewart's 3 deep. 2 fists from the Xavs come across him. The spoil went straight to LaCava, who has missed. Oh, he was 25 metres out, directly in front. Geordie LaCava, you were just about riding that one down. And it's 3 behinds now to start the quarter from the Uni Blues, who've had all the play, Hugo Higginbotham and Matthew Donald, but have not been able to score. 7 minutes gone, they lead it by 14 points here, or 9 points rather. And it's with Sam Fisher at left half back for the Old Xaverians.
Got the kick from Lane. And then Fisher looks to go up towards McIsaac, who marks it. Long way from home, though, Charlie McIsaac. Staring into the sun. He wants to go short. That's okay.
Out on the full.
No, it's out on the full. It's not okay. Oh, these binoculars don't quite have the depth required to pick up on that. I thought that was a good mark.
It was. He was just over the boundary line.
Well, that's very true. I also thought it was in the field of play. The Blues get it back inside 50. They've got the numbers. Oh, well done from Dunn. Read it nicely. Had front spot. Took the mark. He's won it back for his team. He thought about switching it, but instead he goes up the line. And this time it is in the field of play. Just wasn't going to go early on that one. Bit once, twice shy. Short to Fisher, who took the mark despite the attentions of Young'uns.
He's getting a good education today as Young'uns on Sam Fisher. He's followed him everywhere. Sam Fisher just starting to win his own footy now.
Fisher has been held up now. On the left boot, fans it out wide, and that is on the full. That was well out on the full. So another turnover, and the Blues will get another opportunity to go forward.
So there's using the width, and then there's that kick from Sam Fisher. Just too far. Wicks to take the free kick. Centre wing Melbourne University side. Swings it across to Taylor at right half back for the Blues, who will complete the switch to O'Shea. And their numbers just seem to have dried up a bit. The Xavs disciplined in defence. Dykes marks the prop-up kick from O'Shea. Gives it back to the former Power and Carlton player who was running through. Kicks it long. Two Xavs players. Dunn is there. Townsend with the hand. Won it down. Bain was very clean. Got it to Cotter, who just bobbled the handball. Stavrou works his way through the contest. Gave it across to Woodhouse. Fisher evades one. Gets through by hand. They work it all the way through. Although Austin gave it straight away to a University Blue in Wicks, who's kicked it terribly inside his defensive 50. McIsaac's waiting for it at the top of the goal square, and Charlie makes it a 3-point game. He's kicked a couple. The Blues did well to win the footy back, but Wicks, a moment that he'd rather forget, gave it away in his own defensive 50, and from there it was elementary from the old Xaverians. And Charlie McIsaac, no issues with that from the top of the goal square. Puts it through for his second. 9.960 through the Uni Blues, 9.660 the old Xaverians. Approaching 10 minutes gone in the final term here at the University Oval for Simon.
Definitely a moment you want to forget that one. You know, they did really well to get the ball again. But you just look at the composure of Fisher through the middle of the ground there, and also Stavrou too. You know, they've given Blues a lot of looks at it at the start of the quarter, and then one entry forward and they kick a goal.
So back in the middle now, both rucks got hands to it. Stavrou emerges with the football and looks to spear it to half forward to Brustnahan, who marks out in front of his opponent. He's too far out to score.
There he is again.
He's going to kick it across to Fisher once more. It was just starting to ease into his work here in this last term. He's also too far out to score, so he's going to try and hit up the lead. Into the pocket, Conway playing in front. It wasn't a good kick. Didn't give Woodhouse a chance. And the big number 19 wins it back for the Blues.
It's worth noting, Hugo and Matthew, that the Xavs haven't led this game since the 21.5-minute mark of the first quarter.
Conway goes out towards the wing. It's knocked back towards Crocker, who got away from his man. Gets a hand pass across. Here's Wicks. That kicks a little bit better. It goes in the right direction this time as well.
Good grab.
But it's a good mark that's been taken, and they'll win it back here. McRae goes to Lane, who's also just starting to get involved a bit more in this last term. He's got it on centre wing.
Going into a slow play here, obviously.
And then up the line he goes. McIsaac coming out to meet it. Well, he charged hard of the contest, and they forgot to put the arms up to mark the thing. Instead, it's gone out of play, and we'll get a boundary throw in.
Dennis Simeopoulos a little bit worse for wear. The last man up from that collision has now got to his feet and is just walking with a fair bit of a hunch. But looks to be fit enough to compete at this next boundary throw-in, which takes place between wing and half forward for the old Xaverians, who are within a kick. Moyle won it down. Fisher's there with Churgwin. They're two ball-hunting mids. It came out in the direction of Brusnahan. There might have been a throw paid by the umpire. There is. So it's a free kick to the Uni Blues. And Churgwin goes down the University wing to Evans, the inclusion today, one of two. Into the side with Henry Wicks for this contest against the old Xaverians. It's a 3-point contest. The kicks to the arc of 50 Stewart.
How strong is he?
He was about third or fourth in line there, Hugo. Worked himself a little bit of space, threw the weight around, and then on the second or third attempt brought it down, and will go back from 55 metres out, 45-degree angle from right half forward.
It's a nice build-up there by the Blues. I mean, a lucky free kick, but excellent entry, a little bit high, albeit, but shot on goal here.
So Stewart for his third. They haven't been able to convert this quarter. This one is tripped it across the face, and Cotter, well, he did all the work. Got himself the body positioning and had a chest mark just waiting for him. It slipped through his hands. It goes out of play in the left forward pocket this time for the Uni Blues.
Stuart Crabbe, a mark of the day contender. Every chance for Balmain and co. Looking for another goal here, the Blues. It's tots back inside. Stuart Crabbe's out of the ruck.
No, push.
And he's been pushed, and he'll get the free kick. Well, he's finally got one. The umpire's given him one. He's played a lot against him today, James Stewart, but he gives him one this time. And a big chance for the number 3 to go back and this time get his third.
Just want to reiterate what a good job the umpires have done today as well, as they always do.
So James Stewart just had a kick a moment ago from about 50 out, similar angle, went across the face. This time he's 20 out, 45-degree angle. Big kick this for the Blues. Stewart comes in, and he's hit the post. He smacked it into the left-hand goal post. And it'll let up for the Xavs. The lead, 4 points for the Blues. 9-10, 9-6. 13 and a half gone in this final term for Simel.
Well, LaCava with the snap, Stewart with the set shot. 2 expected goals. They miss on both. What can the Xavs do the other way? Flying through was Conway with the spoil at centre half forward. The Blues with good representation around this contest. Goes out the back, in the hands now of Archie Lord, who tumbles it in the Cotter direction inside 50. It pitches and bounces away out of play. In the right forward pocket for the Blues. 64 playing 60, approaching 14 minutes gone. Final turn for Simel. Over at the Harry Trott, it's Old Brighton by 30 points over Collegians. It's at Bernard's College. It's Old Scotch. That margin is 72 points over St Bernard's. The University Blacks leading by 39 over D-Lar, and Old Haileybury by 5 on Community TV at the TH King over St Kevin's. Hugo?
Just notice that wind has really picked up out there. You can see it over in that pocket there. That's probably all a lot of the ball out there, and it's going to the Blues end of the ground.
You can see it in the trees in the background as well.
Yeah, good pick-up. Dying sunlight here at the Uni Main. Lane was wrapped up, so we'll get another throw-up, which Stavru walks away from, tumbles the handball away and outside a defensive 50, and they'll work it out along the boundary. Just needed to take a bounce for not. It didn't. And it goes out of play 70 metres from the Uni Blues goal. The lead is a slender 4 points. As I mentioned a few minutes ago, the Xavs last led this game when Nick Guiney kicked his first of the afternoon at the 21.5-minute mark of the first quarter. Since then, after the Blues got the lead back through Charlie Cotter's first of the afternoon, they've been in front for the whole duration.
So back into play, both Moyle and Grimley got a tap to it. It spills away the Blues.
What have we found here?
Well, they'll get a free kick.
Gone the Blues' way.
Yep. So it's coming back. It's going to be taken by Young'uns. They might have been going inside 50 anyway, the Blues, but Young'uns will take the kick
Stewart,
now. They'll drive it inside attacking 50. Stewart was there, couldn't get into a marking position. Evans comes in and applies the tackle. He's taken his man that might have been McRae into the point post there, like at the paddings there. It's eventually trickled out of play for a boundary thrown right up against that behind post. So the Blues continuing to press. They have not kicked a goal in this final term. They've kicked 4 behinds. Can they manufacture something here? Huge pack of players around the ball. Townsend with the tackle. And we'll have another go.
That was a win for the Blues just there, not going through the points, because now we've got a couple of stoppages. There's still a chance.
Stewart there with the tap down. It's come back now to Shergwin. Oh, he had it. He lost it. Was he taken high? The umpire said no. We'll get another stoppage. It's a couple of metres away now from the Blues goal.
They've got a lot of players around the ball. They've got nothing up the field at the moment. They've just left a couple of the Blues players up there. They might win this ball, but they've got nothing to kick to up the ground.
Shergwin eventually gets to his feet, tossed up once more. Neither ruck got hands to it. They were holding each other, and now Cotter with the tackle on McIsaac.
By my count, sorry Matthew, there are 3 University Blues players unmanned outside of forward 50.
So they're set up nicely behind the ball. If it does exit, it's now at half back.
High.
And there'll be a free kick going to the Blues. So they may well be in range here. It'll take a very good kick. I think that might be Carring. Is that Curran at the bottom of all of that? I think it might be. Yes, it is. It's James Curran who's got it, who's managed just 1 goal for the year. Wouldn't he dearly love to double his tally now? It'll take a very good kick, but he's got the opportunity at right half forward. He's about 5 metres in from the boundary line, James Curran. He'll be kicking from 45 metres out. He begins the approach now on the right boot. He sets it on its way, and it has gone wide. It's another minor score. They're doing it in singles at the moment. 9-11-65, the Uni Blues. Old Zaps 9-6-60, and we've ticked over 17 minutes in this final term for Simmel.
They're getting close to the Blues. The last 2 points have been posters, so Stewart and Curran, they're going to have to do it in behinds. Here's Conway of the Blues, intercepts Lane's exiting kick. Broadcast wing, switches to Gleeson.
Yeah.
The last man in the chain. There's no one behind him. He's a true centre-half back for the Blues, and he's taking his time. Waits for the option and the play to develop. Crocker takes the mark. Next one over the top has to be cute and precise, and it is Dykes.
This is actually smart by the Blues because the Xavs are set up very deep. Now Xavs have to come up, so there's going to be space behind them now. They've just got to maintain possession.
Going through the process fastidiously, the Blues, as this ball makes its way out of play at right half forward after Townsend was involved in the contest.
Lovely work, Paddy.
Yes.
80 metres from goal between wing and half forward for the Uni Blues. 9.11.65, leading the old Xaverians 9.60.60. 9.660 rather. That's a lot of behinds.
I knew they were inaccurate, but...
Approaching time on here for Simon in the final term. Who can get after this footy in the shadows of the University Oval wing? It's going to be a holding the ball free kick going the way of the Xaverians. So the umpire breaks up that stoppage. And Campbell Lanes won himself the ball. What can he find in the corridor? Can he find anyone in the corridor? He can find Fisher. Typically makes good decisions on that left boot. Does so here. Brings the ball across to Brosnahan. Wade eyes the middle of the ground. Guiney's there for him next. On the edge of the centre square. Broadcast wing. But the Xavs have done, the Blues have done well to guard the ground, so he's just going to have to go deep. McIsaac's there. He's going to get two hands up in the direction of the footy. It's fisted away into the back pocket. It was Mitch Lloyd who did the work. But the Xavs now have a stoppage deep inside 50. It'll be thrown in from the right forward pocket.
It's a great spoil there from Lloyd. No nonsense, no risk. Got a good fist behind it and killed the contest. Ball's tossed back in here. Spralia and Grindlay going at it in the ruck. And we'll get another stoppage. It's Parsons who was applying the tackle there on Youngans.
You just feel like something's going to break for the Xavs here, don't you?
Spralia and Grindlay both getting hands to it again. It comes out to Churgwell and then great courage from both players. They're both down. The ball's tricked out towards the wing now. Hart keeps it in front. Townsend competing with him. Then goes and applies the tackle. And Bain helps him out and it's over the boundary line. That was a great bit of play from those two players in that marking contest. I think Tottenham one way. Couldn't quite pick up who was coming the other. Great courage shown all round there. And a boundary throw in now with Sexton, the attacking 50 for the Xavs. So the Blues defence have held up again. Toss back in, gathered by Simeopoulos. Dribbles a kick inside, attacking 50, bouncing ball. It's cleared by the Blues. Out towards the centre of the ground. Important ball here. Townsend was there. McIsaac trying to take on Connor. He's caught a tackle. The 18-year-old on his birthday has done well today for the Blues. Spralia with the tap down. And Young and taken in a tackle there by Guiney, so we'll have another stoppage.
The other close one playing out on Community TV, Old Haileybury by 13 points over St Kevin's at the TH King. It would be their first ever senior men's win at that ground. We'll get a repeat stoppage here as Grindlay won it down at his bootlaces for Youngans to fall atop the football. And back in the air we go. This time Spralia. Youngans goes again. Wrestled off him by Churgwin. It'll work out okay for the Blues. Curran goes towards half forward. Having to play from behind though was Carrington, and it's been chopped off.
Yeah, they need to get Carrington back in the ruck. They need to get Grindlay back down there. So Carrington's a better ruckman.
Jack Whitehead of the Xavs kicks it down this commentary wing. Gleeson is there, as is Grindlay for the ball. Oh! It's a screamer from Charlie. A Balmain and Co. Mark of the Day contender. He goes quickly inside 50. Wanted to find Fisher, who'll have to play from behind. Mitch Taylor goes out of bounds. Charlie McIsaac.
What a loop.
Get yourself in the highlights reel, son.
That's a beauty. That was a classic hanger.
He got the double jump. He went early. He got the second lift.
Just floated up there, didn't he?
The Xavs inside 50. They won't care about the mark. They need the win at this point. The Red and Black Mafia. Tuddenham gets through. He's tackled off his kick. It's tight. It's a high contact free kick. It's going the way of the old Xaverians. It's a 5-point game. Nick Guiney's got 2, and with the 30 he can put them back in front.
He won't miss. You just got that feeling, haven't you? Blues have had so many looks at it this quarter, he just couldn't capitalise. Spent next to no time down in the forward line here.
So Guiney has 2. With his first goal today, he put the old Xaverians in front at the 21.5-minute mark of the first term. And at the 22-minute mark of the final term, Nick Guiney has put them back in front again. You called it, Hugo Higginbotham. Xavs in front by a point. 10-6-66 to 9-11-65. We're going the distance on the SEN app and on VAFA.com.au. Saturday afternoon amateur footy. Just settle in for the next 8 to 10 minutes or so. We've got a cracking finish on our hands.
Well, that kick drifted a long way. I thought it was going to go across the face there, but he's judged it beautifully, Guiney.
He has, and you've got to take your opportunities when you get them. Xavs haven't had many looks at it in their forward half this quarter, but they've capitalised, got the lead back, whereas the Blues probably had 4 or 5 shots on goal they should have kicked.
And now it's on the hosts to get themselves back in front again. Spralia's taken in a tackle. We'll have another ball up right in the heart of University Oval here. There it is once more. Spralia with a tap. Stavro tried to take on his man. Got a hand pass away. Ralph was appealing for something. They're not quite sure what. The kick comes inside 50 here for the Xavs. Oh, McIsaac flew again. Couldn't take it this time. Phipps Parsons was there. It trickles towards the boundary line. Ward's got to do well. He gets a hand pass forward a few metres. And the umpire says boundary throwing it right half forward for the Xavs. Right in front of the condemned building there. But this match is anything but condemned. It's well and truly alive here at University Oval. 1 point the margin as we tick at a time on in this final term. The ball tossed back into play at half forward. So it's Guiney again who's trying to take on Gleeson. Got caught but got the hand pass away. Only as far as Taylor. Drives the kick into the middle of the ground. Dunn playing in front. Didn't take the mark but roved it well. Chips it short. Too short. The umpire wave play on. Lane. Hand pass it back to Trigger. Looking to give it back to Lane. And then he goes out wide. One more. Phipps Parsons has it outside 50. What can he do? He steps around Dykes, kicks it inside 50, and finds Knox. Charlie not in a bit of space. Could go back and make the lead. 7 points for the Xavs with over 24 minutes gone here in this final term.
Well, it's all Xavs at the moment, isn't it? They are up and about. And they've really had to hunt this. They had to earn this one as well. But it just, Blues, you just look, their body language on the ground is not good at the moment. Their heads are down, shoulders are down. They've had this in the last couple of weeks as well. You know, they've had good leads, peg back, and they just haven't made the most of their opportunities. They had their chances, Matty.
7 goals, 4 for the season, Charlie Knott. Hasn't kicked one today. And he still hasn't kicked one today. He's hooked that one wide. He doubles the lead. 2 points now on the Simon scoreboard. 10-7 to 9-5. Approaching 25 minutes gone in his final term on the Simon scoreboard.
So 5 behinds to 2 goals won this quarter, Hugo. Dykes for the Uni Blues, runs his full measure, kicks it straight at the guts of the University main oval where Trigger plucks it from the sky and has Ralph. Kicks come up the side of the boot. Stavro needs to get it too. Ralph does so by hand. This is awkward for the Xavs. Trigger's back with it. And he gets it away to Spralia, who just hacks it inside 50. The Flyers go up. Conway was there, as was Dykes. Gleeson chases it of the Blues. LaCarva wades his way through traffic at right half-back. By hand goes to Gleeson in trouble. A 15-metre snapped kick, which is plucked by Stavro. Contested grab for the co-captain. Back inside 50. Lloyd may have held on. Umpire said play on. Now Conway lays a tackle. And the man in green holds the whistle. It'll be thrown up. Left forward pocket for the Xavs. 2 points in it. 65 playing 67. It's been the Blues for the majority of the day. The Xavs, when it's counted, have hit the front. Taylor spins away from the contest without the footy. Charlie McIsaac was tackled out of bounds, and it will be thrown in left forward pocket in the shadows now of University Main. 26 minutes gone for simul final term action.
The Xavs have got it where they want it on the scoreboard and on field position. A 2-point lead and inside their attacking 50. Another goal would just about shut the gate on this one. It's tossed back in. It comes out towards the back flank. Wicks applying the tackle and he's going to get the free kick. So the Uni Blues will get it back.
They need to go fast here, Blues. Fast but not reckless. They still need to find those hit-ups, but they've got to get that overlap. They can't afford to stop here.
So Wicks goes short to Crocker.
He should have kept going, should have wheeled him going.
Now he needs to go in short and he's turned it over. And the Xavs can go inside 50 and silly. A long kick, it's aimless and it's been turned over. And they'll get an opportunity here. They've got space out this side. O'Shea looks for the 45 kick in board. It's affected to Dykes. Now he's going to go. He bumps it long. They've got numbers here. Good effort going back with a flight. No, taken. And much to the chagrin of the crowd.
I was going to put a mark beside his name for Mark of the Day.
It was another McIsaac. It was Hamish.
It was.
Instead, they'll get another opportunity here. Will the Blues? Stavro trying to hand pass it out. They've got space here. Phipps Parsons just about gets a kick away. They've got numbers here at half forward. No mark taken again. It comes out to Westcott. He gets a hand pass away. Phipps Parsons kept running. Gets away from Gleeson. The hand pass is behind Rustahan. He's going to go back and get it. Gets it back in board to Phipps Parsons again. Gets away from his man. Back to Stavro. Kicks to a central location. Over there to McIsaac. Could take the mark. Forced away. Stops the sealer. The Xavs are home! Fittingly, it's the skipper Campbell Lane who shuts the gate. It's an 8-point lead to the Xavs. 28 minutes gone here in this final term. 11-7-73 they lead. The Uni Blues 9-11-65. That's on the Simul fourth quarter scoreboard. Building better together. Campbell Lane standing up when it matters most.
Goal of the day contender for Jumbo Corp, the complete waste management solution. Hugo Higginbotham. It's been all old Xaverians this final term. The Blues just the 5 points. The Xavs 3 goals won.
Well, let's get the runner to run out to Fisher at the moment. Ask him what size skins he wears, Paddy. I think he's been huge. When they were down, he willed their side back into it.
So the Blues, they're going to have to get 2 really quickly. Churgwin with the first kick to centre half forward. It takes a bounce. It goes into the hands of the old Xaverians. It's a tumbling kick towards right half back. Phipps Parsons first to chase it down. Baines on his hammer. Phipps Parsons wants the boundary. The umpire wants to throw this one in. So 28 minutes and 49 seconds elapsed. You'd think that there's a minute and a half left in this one. Only the 3 goals kicked in the final term for Simul. The Xavs lead it by 8 points. Spralia wins it down at his bootlaces. Simeopoulos runs past the footy. They'll hold it up, O'Shea and Spralia. And the old Xaverians, they were down by 23 points before half-time. They led for the first, for one of the only times today, early in the first quarter. It took them until the final term, until time on and Nick Guiney's 3rd goal, to lead this game again. And after last week's heartache against Old Brighton at Toorak Park, the 4-2 Old Xaverians look like they're going to be back amidst the top of the table. Elsewhere, it's Old Haileybury still by 13 points over St Kevin's at the TH King on Community TV. Back in the air at right half, left half forward for the Blues. We've had 3 or 4 successive stoppages. It'll be chucked in the air again.
So Spralia and Carrington go at it again. Stavrou was caught immediately. It's come out to Crocker. He sends a kick in towards the forward pocket. Bouncing ball. McIsaac leads the race to the boundary line. It's out of play. And it's going to be a throw in inside attacking 50 for the Blues.
Now the result, the University Blacks by 70 points. That's a final score, 106-36. The Blacks over Dealer at Waverley Oval.
Toss back inside. Spralia got front spot to it. Snap towards goal. Stewart! He's got it! Well, maybe, just maybe, there's a pulse yet for the Blues. Stewart eventually does snap through his 3rd. A very late goal of the day contender for Jumbo called the complete waste management solution. And I said Lane snapped the sealer a few moments ago. Maybe I spoke too soon. 10-11 to 11-7. It's a 2-point lead in favour of the Blues. We're over 30 minutes gone here in this final term for Simul. Building better together. And James Stewart gives the Blues life in this final term at Main University Oval.
So Gleason's gone forward. Gleason's gone forward here.
Now, no 666, remember, in the Amateur Association. So it means that the Xavs can pile numbers defensively. Phipps Parsons is going down there with Westcott. Ball in the air. 2-point lead, the old Xaverians. Churgwin puts it inside 50. Just someone needs to mark this. Stewart with the back of the float. Trigger holds on to it for the Xavs.
Trigger, he's been huge today.
Whistles on the play. There's some cramp for Trigger, so the clock will stop. They're going to need to pack numbers down the line for where this ball will surely go from Trigger. Clock is off. He's stretching out some cramp in the left back pocket. So he's called to go. 2-point lead is the Xavs. A kick down the line. McIsaac is there, and the Xavs have held on.
He's taken a mark.
They came back and they held on. And they will exit the University Oval 2-point winners. It was the Blues all day long who held the advantage. The Old Xaverians across the final stages of the 3rd and the early stages of the 4th. They hit the front and they hold on late. They win 11-7-73. The Blues 10-11-71. That quarter going 32 minutes for Simul. The Xavs move to 5-2. The Blues to 2-5. Hugo Higginbotham, Matthew Donald, what a game of footy we've just seen. Hugo, how do you respond to that?
What a game, what a finish. That was electric, that was amazing. Geez, you got a feel for Blues. I can see Matt Smith, their coach. He's devastated. He is absolutely devastated. You know, they've had that winning lead. You just think of those opportunities at the start of the quarter, Paddy. They had a chance to seal that one, but it's just sometimes things just, you know, the pressure in players' heads, it builds, and it's building and building. And he did say that this was season-defining, this game. The season was on the line. And for Xavs, you know, Xavs probably didn't play that well today, to be quite honest. Very good in patches, but when they were down, you just know, you know, Fisher and Stavrou, just through the middle of the ground, you know, they got their side back into it. They were amazing today, both of those.
So it took until James Stewart's wild snap from the ruck, deep in the forward pocket at the 30.5-minute mark of that final term, for the Blues to open their goal-scoring account in the last quarter. 1 goal 5 for the Blues in that final term for Simon, to 3 goals 1 for the old Xaverians, which Hugo and Matthew seems like the story of the day. Let's throw it down now to Raj Johnston, who has our Skins Player of the Day, Sam Fisher, beside him. He's won himself a pair of cutting-edge Skins compression tights, all thanks to Skins, the masters of compression. Down to you now, Raj.
Thanks, Paddy. I've got our Skins Player of the Game, Sam Fisher. Congrats, Sam. Great hard-fought win. Just talk us through how you saw the game playing out.
They brought their pressure and intensity and skill in the first half. They were awesome. Really took it up to us, and credit to our group. We've fucking really worked on it this year in terms of just playing 4 quarters, playing it out till the end. And in the end, like we just battled it out and got the win. Not pretty, but just ticking him over.
Now, Charlie McIsaac's mark, was that one of the best things you've ever seen?
I actually was viewing it from behind, so I couldn't really see it, but it looked absolutely huge. It's a good mark.
Got the Collegians at Toorak Park next week. How do you think they'll be shaping up?
It's hard to tell. I mean, in this comp, like if your teams just bring their pressure, if you're off slightly, it's going to be a good game. So we've just got to reset and bring energy and intensity for 4 quarters, clean up our ball use a little bit, and we should be all right.
Well done on today. We'll let you go celebrate.
Thanks to Sam Fisher, our Skins Player of the Day, and apologies for some of the language that may have filtered through. He joins our F-Bomb Hall of Fame, which I think is now 2 people strong.
Unfiltered,
as far as players go.
I think it's the word there. Not filtered.
That might be the one. So a great win today for the old Xaverians. They've come to the University Oval. They didn't have it their own way today for much of this game, but it's a professional last quarter where they've got on top, and we might get Raj Johnston to follow the Xavs through to their rooms. We might be able to pick up the song from the depths of the University Oval. We'll stick with them. So the goal scorers, we'll just pick up, I think, with the old Xaverians. Let's enjoy the festivities after a hard-fought 2-point win. Xavs 11-7-73 defeating the University Blues 10-11-71 in a thriller at the University Main. It was the Blues by 2 points at quarter time, by 13 points at half time, by 6 points at 3/4 time, but the Xavs with 3 goals to 1 in the final term come over the top, get the lead and then hold on late. They win by 2 points, 73-71. The goal kickers today, Nick Guiney kicked 3, Sterling Phipps-Parsons and Charlie McIsaac with 2 apiece. Singles for Simeopoulos, Westcott, Alex Spralia, and then Campbell Lane at the end. The seal as called by Matthew Donald. If we look through the University Blues tally, it was 3 to Charlie Cotter, the 18-year-old today. James Stewart also contributing 3 goals, 2 for Sam Grimley, and singles for Goddard and Churgwin. Of course, Jeremy Goddard out of the game in that by the third quarter, with a head knock. We hope he's going to make a full recovery from that, and it's just a knock and nothing any more serious than that. Before we break down this game any further, Hugo, Matthew and Raj Johnston, let's go through the results from around the competition. We've got final scores for you from round 7 of William Buck Premier Men's action. Old Brighton 14-15-99 continue their unbeaten start to 2025. They beat Collegians by 51 points. Collegians 7-6. 48, that game taking place at the Harry Trott Oval.
Haven't got goal scorers for you from that contest. We move then to St Bernard's College, where the Snow Dogs were shown up by the reigning premiers. They are 8-7-55 St Bernard's, 2015. 135 Old Scotch, who led by 51 points at the first break and continued on their merry way from there. 80-point winners at St Bernard's College. The Scotchies, their third win of the season. Over at Waverley Oval, D-Lar still looking for its first win of 2025 in top flight. Started well, Nick Hyland's men, but faded across the final 3 quarters of the game after leading at quarter time. D-Lar 5-6-36. The University Blacks 16-10, 106. So a 70-point win for Dale Bowers Blacks. And this is a bit of history for you, Hugo Higginbotham. St Kevin's 8-8-56, defeated by Old Haileybury at home, 9-14-68 at TH King Oval. The Bloods by 12 points. Daniel Ward has never won a game as senior men's coach at the TH King Oval. Old Haileybury as a senior men's squad had never won a game at the TH King Oval. That's changed today. The Bloods have got it done and have truly stamped their name on the sheet of premiership contenders in 2025. Harrison Jones with 3 goals, Josh Docking and Andreas Stefanakis with 2 apiece. For St Kevin's, Barnett, Cameron and Critchley with 2 apiece, the multiple goal kickers. Old Haileybury led at every change and held on to win by 12 points. What a result that is. And we can have a look at the Autosport Victoria ladder as a result. So Old Brighton, they stay atop the ladder, 7-0. The Xavs and Old Haileybury 5-2 now. They are again clear inside the top 3 on 20 points apiece. And then you drop to St Kevin's and St Bernard's, both at 4-3. St Kevin's in 4th by percentage. Old Scotch and the University Blacks 3-4 at 6th and 7th. And then the Blues 2-5 in 8th. Collegians 2-5 in 9th by percentage. And D-Lar waiting for its first win of the season, still in 10th place, 0-7. Hugo, serious results around the competition, a few upsets. Where do we start?
Oh, let's look straight at that Scotch one. You know, that's a huge win. That is an absolute huge win out there. You know, must have got a few players back. I haven't really had a look at their list. But they're only sitting in 6th now. They're not too far away. When we spoke about that big raft between the top and the bottom, well, that's starting to close a little bit. And, you know, that sends a message to the competition as well. Don't forget about us, boys. Everyone's written us off. But, you know, Haileybury as well, equal second by percentage. And early wins are so important in this competition as well. They secure enough early, later in the season, you might get the luxury of maybe freshening a few players up, heading in the finals. But, you know, a win like that as well, TH King over experience, comprehensively, stacked full
battle-hardened,
Yeah, and stacked full of talent too. Yeah. Stacked full of talent, where Haileybury just seem to be getting better each week. They're certainly going well in the division.
One performance that probably won't get a lot of attention from the Snow Dogs. They kicked 8 goals. Matthew Watson kicked 5 of them. So I think it's a fair effort and the full forward of a side who got beat as comprehensively as they did to kick more than half of your team's goals. An effort at 5. It'll get overlooked, but just looking at the goal scorers there, I think that's one worth drawing a little bit of attention to, because that's a fair effort on any day, but particularly in a big loss like that. Yeah, definitely. You just see, he's a big prodigious player as well. They create a good hole in front of him that he can lead into, and he's so big you can't get around him. No. So, but just put the ball on his chest. But I guess what? He needed to kick about another 10 on top of that. 5 wasn't enough. 5 wasn't enough.
Our post-match for Trade Tech Services Australia. They're an industry leader in the turnkey installation of major infrastructure. They make it happen. We'll have the winning coach, Dan Donati, in the commentary box in just a few short minutes' time. Someone who has been down in the old Xaverians winning rooms is our boundary rider, Raj Johnston, who's braved the conditions here at University Main, all for Kosh Living, luxury, modern and designer outdoor furniture. Raj, what was it like in the old Xaverians rooms? What was the mood?
Oh, they were up and about. They just couldn't believe it in some ways. This game had lots of swings and roundabouts, but they were just rapt and over the moon. I haven't seen many teams as happy as the old Xavs today.
It's a really important win for their season. It was looking like that they were going to lose pace probably with Old Brighton and maybe the winner out of Old Haileybury and St Kevin's, had they have dropped this game, because the competition is so tight around that 2nd to 5th place. But to be able to stay mature, stay focused and work their way methodically back into the game and then run over the top of the Blues as they were tiring in that 4th quarter, to get the lead and be able to hold it late, to not panic, to stack numbers behind the football, It's just a professional performance from a professional football team. It's a really hard win to get. The ladder won't tell you that this is an unexpected win, but to come out to the University main and to beat the Blues, probably at their own game at times, with the way that this went out with intercept and changing of angles and use of foot skills, that's a real feather in the cap for the Xavs.
Yeah, look, Blues just have to look at those missed opportunities as well, whereas you felt that every time Xavs did get forward, and I reckon they would have had less entries than Blues today, that something dangerous would happen as well. But the two players that, you know, Fisher and Stavro, just to get back on top in the midfield as well, that was huge. In that third quarter when things were looking bad for them, after, you know, the lead was looking big, they just willed the team along, and that's what good leaders do. Another one you got to mention today was Trigard as well. He was fantastic down back, really, really good.
I mean, any other day, that's probably the mark of the day contender right at the end. 3 goals won to 1 goal 5 in the last quarter. And that 1 goal came right at the end as well. And that's the difference.
And look, even the goal that Lane kicked as well, I mean, it wasn't an easy goal, but if that had been the Blues, they would have missed that as well. So it was just one of those days for them. And that's the pressure as well. You're wondering whether the messaging during the week, you know, the season's on the line, whether that got into the players' heads a little bit as well. Because when the pressure came, you could see that their body language before that was really, really poor. They'd all dropped their heads. Almost you could hear them say, "Oh, not again, not again. We had the lead. We've given it up." It's you know, and you only have to be off fraction of percent in 5 or 6 minutes in this game, and you can get 2 goals kicked against you against the flow. Changes the trend of the game. Momentum's an amazing beast.
And it's 3 heartbreakers for the University Blues at this ground this year. Of course, they were defeated by a kick after the siren in round 1 by with Joey Agresta of St Bernard's to lose by a point. Last week, of course, they led most of the way against Old Haileybury, and then the Bloods came over the top again in that final term, 5 goals to nothing after 3-quarter time. This week they lead most of the way against the Old Xaverians, and they kick their first goal of that final term in that 32-minute mark through James Stewart out of a pack. They did have the opportunities in front of goal, which is what I think Matt Smith will focus on. So 2 posters, LaCava's missed from directly in front on the snap, James Stewart's missed from the set shot. So at least they had the opportunities, because you can address execution. If you've just got to get the ball in there, and then from there what happens tends to just unfold. So that will be, I think, the thing they will take out of that 4th quarter. They were beaten in that 4th term, but at least they had the scoring opportunities. They just didn't take them. So it's a tough learning experience so far in the first 7 rounds of the season for first-year coach Matt Smith, but I think he'll be better for it.
Yeah, definitely, and the group will be as well. But you probably... Look, if I was coaching this situation, and you'd be absolutely ropeable with these couple of losses as well. But guess what? That's in the past. You can't do anything. The only thing you can do from the past is learn from it. You can't go back and do it again. Many people would like to, but you can't. And so they've got to reassess as to what they want out of next week, not the rest of the season. You know, they've got to bounce back from that.
Well, for Trade Tech Services Australia, the winning coach now in the commentary box, Dan Donati. Dan, take us through that final quarter. You were on the comeback trail, it felt, late in that 3rd term. You could sense the momentum was changing. They had a lot of scoring opportunities, didn't take them. And then it was Guiney who put that goal through Campbell Lane with what ended up being the sealer goal. You had to wait for it to play out. Take us through the emotional rollercoaster that was the last sort of 40 minutes of this game for you.
I reckon you summed it up pretty well, to be fair. Oh, look, I thought, you know, sometimes you coach games and you know, look, if we get this one, we probably nabbed it. As in, we probably stole it when you've got a side who probably had it for, I'd say, close to 3 quarters momentum. I agree. I thought 12 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter was the first time I said to the guys on the bench, it's the first time I felt like we were actually on top. It was a grind, but I didn't feel like we were on top. It was 2 goals of difference, but they were definitely a better side. But I felt it shift, certainly in that particular time. I thought the last quarter we certainly had 75-80% of the control, but you know, when you're behind all day, it's not easy to be able to grind, especially out here. It's a bit greasy, it's a bit slippery. They've got a couple of bloody gun key forwards. Their midfield I thought was outstanding. I just knew if we got it forward enough, we could win. We just couldn't get it past halfway because we were having to come. I was saying to the boys downstairs, we quite often would lose a clearance around centre wing, which is the key one, and then we're trying to attack from the back pocket, and out here it's very hard because you've got to take a specky like Charlie McIsaac did in the last quarter, which we actually got a goal from. So, but we couldn't do that all day today. So.
I want to ask you about that one because it happened right in front of your coach's box, so you had a really good view of it. I've been saying, and Joey Pignataro will join me in saying this, that he's going to take mark of the century one day. He's just got that sort of spring in the heels, the big jump. Where does that rank in Charlie McIsaac's Hall of Fame for Speckies? Because it's pretty high up there for me.
Yeah, no, it was a good one. Look, I was behind it. You can never really see from there, but look, he works so damn hard. He gets the best defender every week. His work rate, like he's doing 12 Ks a game as a full forward, centre forward. So to get the reward late for that clunk, yeah, look, it was an outstanding mark. It's probably the best one I've seen him take. I'm sure he's taken a couple others over the years, but more importantly, mate, we took the mark and we ended up kicking a goal from it. So that was the important part.
And the good thing is that you can chase it up during the week on VAFA website, vafa.com.au on the VAFA TV tab. So let's chase down Charlie McIsaac's screamer.
Dan, congratulations on the win. Around about that time in the 12-minute mark in the third term, our boundary writer / investigative journalist Raj Johnston took a sneak peek at your whiteboard and he noted the word "out-hunted" was written on it. So it sort of feels like, and based on what you said there, that it was really at the contest where you felt like you were struggling to get on top on.
Yep.
What do you think changed to get that part of the game back on your terms in the last quarter and a half?
Yeah, look, it did. And I wrote that down at the start of the third, probably the 10-minute mark. And then it changed. But I was just saying to the boys downstairs that it took Sam Fisher and Stavro and Spralia to get on top because they were getting beaten, to be fair, for 2.5 quarters. And they're the guys we're reliant on winning out the source. We lost stoppages for the first half. We won them in the third quarter. We got on top. But it took individuals to say, you know what? I'm not going to get beaten anymore. I had a couple of really good midfielders, but we wrestled back momentum. But it was personnel-wise, and obviously throwing Guiney in there, throwing Phipps Pass in there at time helped us too.
Speaking of individuals, I know we talked about the McIsaac mark. I want to know which one you rate more, that one or Alex Trigger's mark right at the end to save the game.
Oh mate, look, that was a cracking grab, Triggers. I thought him and Tommy Dunn were just outstanding behind the ball. The one-on-ones they won in crucial moments, and they're both so courageous and they're very, very close. Trigger's grab was a beauty. To be honest, obviously spectacular-wise, Charlie, but as far as the moment, and Trigger's got a bit of a sore hemi and cramping up, and that was an extraordinary grab. Good call.
Yeah, I was just going to talk about Fisher and Stavro. They were match-defining in that third term. You could just see the experienced heads there go, right, boys, we need to lift here. Did you send the message out to them? Did you get in their ear? Because you can do that with your senior players as well.
No, definitely. I certainly did at half-time. Yeah. And I don't individualise. It's not typically my style, but I certainly put it on the midfield. Yeah. And when you put it on the midfield, you've got the captain in there and you've got Sam Fisher in there. They take that personally. But I said the same as Frick. It was Fisher's third quarter was amazing, but so was Stavro. I thought they helped turn the game, but they needed to, mate. That's their role. They're the midfielders, and they're our best players, and if they're not getting it done, we're going to lose the game. They've got to do that every week, but they were getting beaten for a half.
Yeah, definitely. So I reckon you probably had less entries today, but you must be wrapped with the way the forward line worked when the ball was in there. It always felt like something was going to happen, whereas, they've missed their opportunity. So have you worked with those guys down there, the smaller guys, and just on that sort of opportunistic stuff?
No, we have. We've got a different mix looking forward line than what we did last year. Yeah. Obviously, we've got a couple of good players playing reserves at the moment who aren't quite in the mix. And we know when we get it forward, they're busy. Brendan Goss is looking after him. You guys probably remember Goss. He's a famous old Xavs player. He's a beauty. That's his first year at the club this year. But he's really engaged in the group and just getting to work for each other. Yep. Because as a forward line, sometimes you can get in your head, I've got to kick all the goals. Whereas we've just really been trying to go, guys, it's a team game. Assists are as good as the goal. Get on the move, forward pressure, forward tackles. Last year we were the worst forward 50 tackle team in the competition. This year we're number one. Yep. And that gives you a bit of an insight about what we're trying to do. When we get it forward, we look damn dangerous. Yeah. We just couldn't get it forward enough today, or last week for that matter.
Yeah. No, and Phipps Parsons, he's an important piece for you, isn't he? He's versatile. He's
huge. Yeah, we really missed him last couple because he got called up. He's on Carlton's VFL list this year. He links up, but he can play inside. He can play on the wing. He's obviously a really good finisher. Yeah. He's a very good little player. So I said to him before the game, I got the text message from the Carlton VFL coach on Thursday, and I was quite happy about it. I was very disappointed for Fipper because I know he wants to play more VFL footy, but to be honest, it gave me a smile because I know how bloody important it is to us.
That's it, always back self-interest, I was trying.
I was doing the right, but at the same time, well.
Dan, as a look at your quarter by quarter for the season, there's a lot of red in the opening half of the game and a lot of green in the second half of the game. And it was the case again today where you're a little bit slower to start, but you seem to really have, I think, the fitness and the discipline to come over the top late. I suppose a two-pronged question, what's been behind your slower starts and what's changed for you at halftime to be able to have your boys come over the top?
Yeah, I've been trying to nail down the starts because last year it was the opposite. We had the opposite trend last year. To be honest, I'd prefer to finish games well and win them than start well and lose them.
Yes.
But at the same time, I can't quite pin it down. Look, it's old Xavs, let's be honest, and it doesn't matter who we play, it's the opposition's biggest game of the year a lot of the time. And we cop it early, and we just haven't quite been as clinical and good in the first quarter. Second quarter's been just okay as well. And after half time, look, we're fit. We certainly had a really good pre-season. And you say that every year, but the guys did Tuesday, Thursday, Saturdays basically the entire way through, which we haven't done before, but they wanted to do it. So they've got the work in, and I think pre-seasons help you till probably round 7, round 8, to be honest. And then it's body fitness and injuries and stuff, because your pre-season's basically gone. But those stats would prove that the pre-season's helped us probably get over a couple of games.
You could actually see the fitness lasting out. You blokes weren't cramping or anything like that, and so that was really good.
Yeah.
So we just want to thank you here from VAFA HQ, because you've given us one of the best days of the year for us. St Bernard's have been absolutely belted. You've got up and won. So that bloke Pignataro, he's thrown his phone off the Westgate. That's gone.
He might not show. We record the podcast on a Tuesday morning. He may not show.
He's not rocking up.
He's not rocking up.
Could be a welfare check there.
He's on a one-way flight. He's taking an early holiday. King's birthday's in 2 weeks anyway. Hello to Pigger if you're listening.
But just in all seriousness now, you're sitting second on the ladder. That's an important win for you today, isn't it?
Oh, it's a massive win, and we've probably had a couple where I was saying to the boys downstairs, I can repeat myself, but this time last year, I could say at half-time or three-quarter time, we've got to find a way, and we couldn't find a way. Whereas this year, we've found a way a couple of times. And that, for me, when we were a maturing group, it's another year together, but that's a good sign that, you can stick it out, because this game's hard. You're never going to get it. You rarely get an easy game.
Yeah.
So you've got to stick it out. It's not going to go your way, and if you can persist and get wins, it's a good sign. We've got a lot of improving to do. Don't get me wrong. But
and you need to be improving going towards finals. You can't stay the same.
We're not playing our best footy, and we won't. We're an emerging product, and we'll get Jed Fennelly back next week, and Jack O'Sullivan, a couple of biggies for us, which we'll need against a collegiate side that we know we rate highly.
And that must be a thrill as well, to be able to find a way to win without a couple of your most important players as well.
Yeah, definitely. But that's not. I'm not using an excuse either. It's just a bonus that we're going to get a couple of good goodies back next week. But look, for sure. As I said, any win's a good win. But when you've been outplayed for a lot of the game, you can somehow find a way and grind. As a footy coach, they're rare. You don't win a lot of them. Yeah. So it's certainly satisfying. The boys have got the belief to continue to run and the fitness to be able to get over the line.
Well, you just said that word there. I was going to mention belief too, and you get to see that. But you got to see it halfway through the quarter as well. A few things happened. So Blues, because you can say they've had some trouble this year, their body language dropped a little bit. Well, your blokes are still up and about, and didn't really relate to the scoreboard sort of thing. It was just that belief that they think we can get this done.
Yeah.
And that's hard to train in the guys.
And it's been a big shift too, because last year we might have been a little bit the other way. If things weren't going our way last year, there was we'd finger point sometimes, and we'd start blaming other people. Whereas this year we're certainly more centred to, hey, let's just stay in the game a bit. Yep. Campbell Lane coming into the footy club, he's a beauty. He's one of those sort of generational leadership guys. And he's been awesome for them out there. So if anything does go right, he can straighten them up. And Stavro stepped up. And we've got some really good leadership this year. And it's been an area we've needed to grow. And I think that belief's starting to grow as well.
Dan, I think we could enjoy the afterglow with you until about 8 p.m. But we might go and let you celebrate the win with your team. Your next 4 games, you get Collegians, as you mentioned, at home next week. You get the bye for King's birthday. And then D-Lar away, St Kevin's at Toorak Park. That'll be an absolute ripper. And then the Uni Blacks back at this Oval. Congratulations on your win today. Go enjoy it. And good luck against Collegians next week.
Anytime, guys, and thanks very much. Cheers.
The coach of the old Xaverians, Dan Donati, joining us in the commentary box, or the commentary annex, I suppose, here at the University Main, after the Xavs came from behind to beat the Blues by 2 points. Hugo, plenty to glean from that discussion, but great news for Xavs faithful that they get O'Sullivan and Fennelly back next week.
Yeah, it just keeps getting better, doesn't it? But you could just see that group out there. That's a focused, driven group, and they're only going to get better. But, he's a rip of a coach. You love coaches that play the game from the boundary line. They want to be out there. He's fit as hell. He could probably still get out there and play as well and do pretty well.
I was looking at the forearms. They were thicker than my neck. It was unbelievable stuff there from Dan Donati.
Don't sell yourself short, Paddy. You've got a rather thick neck.
It's a very thick-necked comment. I don't know where to take that, actually. You've genuinely stumped me. I'm not often lost for words.
That's all right.
Let's go to our goal of the day for Jumbo Corp, because we know who's got the mark of the day. We'll get to that in a few moments' time. For the complete waste management solution, Jumbo Corp, who was your goal of the day winner? Matthew Donald. We might go for you because you called a few rippers today.
Yeah, there were a lot of honourable mentions. I really loved Cotter's first one, roving I think it was roving Stewart's effort and then launching it from outside 50 on the run on his birthday. I think that was terrific. Love as well what was ultimately the winning goal from Campbell Lane. That was a good team goal, and it was finished astutely by the skipper as well. But I think in terms of actual quality, I've got to go with Charlie Cotter's first. I think that just about takes the cake for me. But there's a lot of good nominations today.
So Charlie Cotter, who turned 18 today for the University Blues and celebrated with 3 goals. Unfortunate, though, for Charlie to not get the win. The boy out of Claremont, who played Colts footy last year and, in fact, won a grand final against Swan Districts. So Charlie's coming off some success last season. Now, this is pretty much a formality, but the mark of the day is for Balmain & Co., building with integrity, delivering innovation, an industry leader in construction and development. Let's actually remove Charlie McIsaac from the equation, considering he may have taken mark of the year in front of us here at the University Main. Who was next best? Is it as simple as Alex Tregar's intercepting effort late in the final term?
I thought Grimley's was good too.
Yep.
I thought that was very good. But, that'll be on the highlights reel, that one. Yep. It was beautifully called as well. But you don't see those very often, do you, marks like that anymore?
Oh, boy.
No. For the last couple of weeks, we've had so many near misses. It's about time. We deserve one. We earned that one, boys.
Is there one that mark reminds you of? Because I feel like I've got a mark that in mind that reminded me of.
This is a deep cut, but Taylor Garner for North Melbourne took one which was quite similar, where he got the early jump and then got sprung up from underneath and just sort of toppled over the front of the pack.
I was thinking Ashley Sampy.
Yes,
way back at the G against
very
Melbourne.
Big spring.
Yeah.
Well,
just sort of, he almost stood, because both those marks, you've almost got the bloke standing up.
Yes,
rather than sort of kneeling up.
Well above the pack too. I'm very much looking forward to chasing down the replay of that on VAFA TV.
See, I wonder why.
Geez, I hope the camo got it. Let's just cross our fingers and hope that our excellent cameraman got it. We'll leave you with the Premier B results as well, so plenty going on in action there. Caulfield Grammarians have beaten Old Camberwell by 26 points at Glen Huntly Park. Old Ivanhoe have beaten Old Geelong by 9 points at Como Park. Williamstown CYMS have won by 42 points over Old Carey. That's a big win for Contazoglu and his boys. The Old Melburnians have beaten the Hampton Rovers by 42 points at Boss James Reserve. And we've got a live score still from Brunswick Street Oval, but Old Trinity look to have marched in by 68 points by my count over Fitzroy to continue the T's strong year. Hugo, Matthew and Raj Johnston, let's do that again sometime. We had a great game of footy. Raj, we'll start with you. Thank you for braving the boundary for us. Excellent work from you as always.
Thank you, Paddy. I reckon this is one of the best Premier men's games I've covered to date. They had it all. Close game, high-flying marks, great goals. It was fantastic.
Hugo Higginbotham, wonderful work in the special comments chair as per usual from you.
Thanks, Paddy. Love this one. It was a great contest. I'm just feeling for Matt Smith and the Blues at the moment. But anyway, I'll go celebrate with the Xavs boys. Go with a happy team. Always go with a happy team.
I'll see you in the function room in 10 minutes. Matthew Donald, always a pleasure.
I've said it before. I'll say it again, Paddy. It's my highlight of the week, working with you and both you as well, Hugo and Raj. And the cherry on top, we've got an excellent game of football to call as well.
You've got a game to go and panel operate. Hugo, you've got a bottle of red wine and a fire to put on and get started to watch the night of footy. And a big thank you, as always, to our man Bruce on the buttons, who does a fantastic job at getting us on air and then keeping us on air, which is harder than it looks sometimes at some of these crowds. Thank you for your company this Saturday afternoon for amateur footy. Coming to you from Parkville, it's the Xavs over the Blues by 2 points.
This has been the SEN Match of the Day. Thanks to William Buck. Join us again next week on the SEN app, sen.com.au and vafa.com.au.
Footy's at the heart of Victoria, but gambling harm is creeping onto our fields. That's where the Real Stakes steps in. Backed by the Victorian Amateur Football Association, the Real Stakes helps local clubs tackle the risk of online sports betting head on. Get the tools, spark the conversation, and protect what really matters, your mates. Visit realstakes.com.au to find out more.
Tickets are now on sale for the VAFA's 2025 Big V Gala Dinner presented by City Power. It's a landmark event, the largest function the VAFA has ever staged, and it's celebrating 100 years of Big V representative football. This historic evening will serve as the official opening to the Rep Football Weekend, offering a unique opportunity to honour the legacy of the Big V and its enduring significance within the VAFA community. The Big V Gala Dinner will bring together past players, coaches, club representatives and supporters to reflect on a century of tradition, achievement and pride. The evening promises to be one of the most significant in the VAFA's history. You don't want to miss it. It's at Centrepiece at Melbourne Park, Thursday the 10th of July 2025. Tickets now on sale at vafa.com.au.
Are you looking to grow your business? William Buck are more than just accountants and advisors who can develop strategic growth plans for your business. With over 125 years experience, William Buck has expertise in navigating through challenging times and has been working closely with the VAFA community, creating positive change for individuals, businesses and community organisations. William Buck's team of specialist advisors work collaboratively, providing you with 360 support. Schedule a complimentary consultation today by visiting williambuck.com.
Keep up to date with everything that's happening around the VAFA by subscribing to our socials. We're on Instagram, X, Facebook, LinkedIn and TikTok. Join in the fun with the best pics, videos, stories and reels from around the competition. Send us your best and we might share them around the league. VAFA Socials. Search VAFA and VAFA Women's on your favourite platforms.
Would you like to get more closely involved with footy and enjoy the unique camaraderie and bonds that exist in and around footy clubs? VAFA clubs are always looking for volunteers to assist with the weekly running of the club, both on and off the field. Log on to vafa.com.au and check out our club directory to find a club near you.
Is your club celebrating a player milestone? Let us know at VAFA Media and we'll feature it in the Amateur Footballer. We're always on the lookout for stories that acknowledge outstanding achievements and the clubs behind them. Email us at media@vafa.com.au.
Hey guys, at GYG we never compromise on the quality of our food. That's why we only serve 100% free-range chicken. We're on a mission to reinvent fast food because who said fast food had to be bad food? Love ya.